shots. You know, you look at both of those and you feel good about. You got deep up there, kind of what was that? I think that's that first and third, 1 out or no outs. We saw the walks. But yeah, we had our chances. And we had some guys up there that we didn't swing the back goodies up a couple times. Yeah, we had our chances to score. Just didn't take advantage of it.
Welcome to South Florida, everybody. It's the Yankees and the Marlins. Last game of this short 2-game set and last of 4 throughout the season against the Bronx Bombers here at Marlins Park tonight. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth. Paul Severino and Todd Hollinsworth. Well, you just heard Don Mattingly talk about it after the game last night. A night of missed opportunities, but tonight a chance to split against the Yankees. That's the news.
Well, and that's the reality. I mean, you look at last night's ball game, and there's probably a few things you factor in, whether it's the guys that made outs on the bases, those missed opportunities that Don Mattingly was talking about, or the fact that this building was packed and it was a bit overwhelming, I think, for some of these young Marlins. Well, listen, you take a deep breath, you say, okay, that's what the center stage is all about. That's what the Yankees deal with every day. All right, maybe we go out and play a little bit better baseball game tonight and see if we can't take our best game up against the Yanks.
Let's dive into some of the numbers from last night's ball game. Again, you look at where the Yankees are in the standings, the second best record in Major League Baseball. We know where the Marlins are, but so close to knocking off the New York Yankees last night. But 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Got to get the big hit.
Well, and that's it. I mean, they set the stage very well. You see 8 leadoff runners on base. Remember, it was an extra inning ball game, so they were getting traffic on. They just weren't able to extend those innings. And a lot of times, it's really just based on the quality of the at-bat. It's not just, listen, putting guys in motion. Of course, they did make a few outs on the bases. You sensed at moments they wanted to be aggressive, but again, maybe a little too aggressive. Dietrich, 2 hard steps towards second base, ends up getting doubled off on that line drive. A couple of guys over at first base made out. So tonight, you just got to clean up some of the errors, hope that you turn some of those base runners into runs.
A lot of emotion in the ballpark last night for sure. Yankees win the opener 2-1 in 12 innings, and a lot of that emotion surrounded the return of Giancarlo Stanton. Met with the media before the game, certainly greeted the fans as he took batting practice and signed some autographs. A tribute video middle of the game. He had a couple of hits. It was a nice night for him last night.
Yeah, it certainly was. Had a big ball game. We talked exit velocity. We liked to do that last year. Certainly did it throughout his career here with Miami. He holds so many of these records. And oh, by the way, tonight, if you're paying attention, he's sitting on 299. So 300 could potentially be on its way.
He had a couple of balls extremely hard last night. One that nearly went through the left field wall that you just saw right there, but they kept him in the ballpark. When we come back here to Marlins Park, we will check back in once again with the guys out in center field, and the bullpen has been doing a nice job the last week or so. We'll check in with them next. First pitch tonight. He will in just a few moments, but first we check in with the guys in center field.
All right, thank you very much. The Marlins hope to get another great starting performance like they got last night from Pablo Lopez. But last night they also got a great effort from their bullpen. 5 guys going 6 innings, and they made it a good ball game, allowing only the 1 run.
Outstanding, and it started with Guerrero. How about the stuff that he had last night? Over 12 pitches, over 100 miles an hour. Stanton had no shot. He had to be thinking, where'd this guy come from? And then Hicks as well struck out the side.
Well, the thing I like about Adam Conley, he can be used in many roles. He can go more than 1 inning. He went 1 perfect inning last night. He can get righties. He can get lefties out. Doesn't matter. Fastballs, he can go breaking ball, changeup. Good inning for Adam Conley.
Drew Steckenrider, Nelly, came in for the 9th inning.
Again, outstanding. He's going to be the closer, maybe the 9th inning guy. Now the Bear claws out. He'll be coming back soon. Did walk a guy, but it got out of that inning safely.
One of the things that Mattingly really needed was more than 1 inning. And with that split change, Drew Rucinski was able to give the ball club 2 really nice innings last night as well.
Javi Garrett gave up the run, but was able to wiggle out of some damage and give the Marlins at least a shot, trailing by just 1. They wound up losing 2-1 in 12. What is in store for game 2 here with a big crowd on hand? We'll have it for you next. Yankees, Marlins, fun one. Marlins Park next.
Marlins on tap here in South Florida. Paul Severino and Todd Hollandsworth with you. Glad that you are with us for the second game of the short 2-game set. Brett Gardner will lead things off for the Yankees. The rest of the lineup is presented to you by Southwest. Of course, Giancarlo Stanton with a couple of hits last night. Miguel Andujar, a big night last night as well with the sac fly in the 12th inning, which was the difference. Trevor Richards is ready to go, and the first pitch is just a little bit outside for ball 1. For Richards, it is his 19th start of the season, rather, 4.28 ERA.
Yeah, he's coming off an outstanding July, 2.30 ERA, 5 starts in July. Now in August, a little different.
Fly ball out to left field for Austin Dean, and Gardner is retired on 2 pitches.
You may see a little bit of this from the Yankees tonight. Word is out on Trevor Richards and that outstanding changeup. He's throwing it 31% of the time on the season. He's been throwing it an awful lot more lately.
Again, Giancarlo Stanton greeted warmly by the fans here at Marlins Park. Takes that one a bit low. For Stanton, 2 for 6 last night, a double. He had 23 hits in his last 66 at-bats. As we talked about last night, they say no swing over there at first. As we talked about last night, listen, he's a big part of any offense, but especially one that does not have Aaron Judge, who will be out in the next couple of weeks, still working his way back from a fractured wrist. 3 balls and no strikes to Stanton.
Well, since the Judge injury, this Yankees offense has actually been averaging more runs than prior to.
You try getting it past them if they don't need it back. Good luck.
Man, I'm just looking at the numbers.
A walk on 4 pitches to Stanton.
Let's take a look at the Marlins defensively for tonight's game. Dean gets the start in left field. Sierra back in center. Ortega making the start in right. Anderson, good to see Miggy Rojas back at short. His first start in about 10 days. Castro, Dietrich, JT Realmuto behind the plate. Richards on the mound.
In steps the center fielder Aaron Hicks. 20 home runs, 58 RBIs on the season. And takes a look at a called strike. He was hit by a pitch in the 12th inning last night, which extended his on-base streak to 16 games. And that was 0 for 5. Just 1 hit in his last 14 at-bats. Got on and missed. 0-2.
Now there's the changeup. Nice job. Led with the fastball, back to the changeup. Arm side run and depth as it makes its way down in the strike zone. Richards tonight forcing fastball, change, and curve. Hitters against his four-seam fastball, .313 batting average against. The changeup, .161.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. The distribution of balls in play on the ground and the infield off of Aaron Hicks's bat. Not much action to the right of Miguel Rojas, who is towing the line. That 31-6 line. A ball and 2 strikes. And Hicks is retired. First strikeout of the night for Richards.
Yeah, nice job. Great example of adding and subtracting by Richards. That's what he does best. First the fastball down in the zone, then the changeup, then elevating with the fastball. A very deliberate pattern. Lefties this season only a .206 batting average against. Righties hit much higher, but lefties have a hard time with that changeup, and they see it a lot more.
1 on and 2 out for Miguel Andujar. A strike. He's involved in both run scoring plays last night. 1 for 5. Scored the run in the 4th inning and had the sac fly in the 12th. .25 RBIs in his last 23 games. Gave you the numbers on Stanton since the Judge injury, but really across the board guys have stepped up. It has not just been the Judge injury, but also the Gary Sanchez injury as well. Judge joined Sanchez on the DL on the 27th of July. And since then, Miguel Andujar hitting .309. 16 runs scored, 6 doubles, 8 homers, and those 25 RBIs I mentioned.
It's been interesting. This team has been hit with so many injuries. Obviously the news today that Aroldis Chapman going to the disabled list, but hey, they're a season high 33 games over 500.
That one is ripped foul. You're right, they have not been this far over 500 since the end of play on September 27th, 2011.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And you look at the DL, from Gregorius to Chapman to Judge to Sanchez to Sabathia. You have to counter with names like Andujar and Torres. I mean, these young men have stepped up.
Well, it is an incredibly deep farm system that is now bleeding into the major league club in the Bronx.
Well, we saw Andujar in April in New York. Weren't sure he was going to be playing every day. Point being is he's hitting 4th tonight. I mean, this young man has done a fantastic job this season of stepping right in and becoming an everyday answer.
Grounds this one back to Richards, able to make the play over to first. And he leaves Stanton on in the first inning. When we come back, the Marlins face Lance Lynn. Two-game series. Rafael Ortega leads things off in the Marlins starting lineup, presented to you by Southwest. Miguel Rojas back in the starting lineup. He will hit 7th tonight. He is over at shortstop, right behind Austin Dean, who had his first Marlins Park hit, which also happened to be his first Marlins Park home run. So he hits 6th against Lance Lynn tonight. He gets set to deliver an 0-1 to Ortega. Rolls this one foul. We meet Lance Lynn, who was a deadline time-ish, kind of not right at the deadline, but close enough for the New York Yankees to fortify the staff in some form or fashion. He's moved into the rotation.
Yeah, he certainly has, and he's pitched pretty well for the Yankees. I think that's the story that's kind of catching everybody's attention, making his 4th start as a Yankee with a 2.61 ERA. His last start was against the Toronto Blue Jays. It was his worst as a Yankee. 4 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks. Had a bad first inning. Marlins are going to see a lot of fastballs tonight.
There's a called strike 3 on said fastball, and there is 1 out.
All right, let's go ahead and get you that AutoNation scouting report of Lance Lynn. He most definitely is a familiar face. Lynn is making career start number 7 versus the Marlins. Remember, most of his career in the National League with the St. Louis Cardinals. 6 seasons with them. 1-1 with a 3.25 ERA against the Marlins. Fast ball dominant. Follow along. He throws the fastball combination between the 4-seamer and the sinker about 76% of the time here in 2018. All 12 of his home runs that he surrendered on the pitch. Here's the kicker. He can be wild. 5 walks per 9. That is 2nd highest in the big leagues this season. He's walked 69 batters, so keep an eye on that. He has had some first inning woes. 5.30 ERA career in the first inning.
JT Realmuto takes a called strike. JT 0 for 5 with a walk in last night's ball game. 16 homers, 61 RBIs. He's 1 home run shy of tying a career high, 17 homers last year. And 4 ribbies from tying a career high in RBIs, 65 last year.
Lance Lynn provide a unique challenge for the Marlins offense tonight. We've talked through a productive month of July, how good the Marlins have been against the fastball. In fact, 17th in Major League Baseball, 269 batting average against the fastball on the season. Here's the kicker. In the second half, they're hitting 241. That's their batting average against the fastball. And we told you that Lance Lynn's going to throw it about 76% of the time. At 241 batting average, 29th. The Marlins have run into some issues against the Cheese here in the second half.
To Real Muto, swung on and missed. And back-to-back strikeouts for Lynn here in the first.
Here are the Yankees defensively behind Lynn tonight. Gardner once again gets the start in left. Hicks in center. Stanton in right. Back-to-back starts for Giancarlo in right field. Andujar, third base. Torres, Walker, Bird, Romine behind the plate. Yankees pretty solid defensively. Not near the top, but not near the bottom either.
Brian Anderson takes it a pitch a little low. Anderson, couple of hits last night, including a walk. 2 for 4 with that free pass. 12th in the National League in hits at the start of play. 1-1. Well, coming up in the top of the second inning, we will talk with the president of business operations with the Miami Marlins, Chip Bowers. I teased it last night. We had a chance to talk with him about some of the plans going forward. Membership opportunities here with the Miami Marlins. We'll explain that in greater depth when Chip joins us in the top of the second inning. Ball and 2 strikes to Anderson, right back up the middle, knocked down by Lynn, who gets to it and throws high, and that one bounces into the seats. Well, Lynn got a glove on it. It rolled away from him a couple of feet. He pounced on it and then airmailed Greg Bird.
Now let's take another look. This slider, as you said, knocks it down to the backside of the mound. Lynn pounces on it, but my oh my. Fair to say in the vicinity of first base? Yeah, it is to the right side of the field.
Sure.
Well, up into the seat, so an RBI opportunity for Starlin Castro. Is going to be an E on Lynn.
With 2 outs now, it is Castro. And the Marlins last night 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 men on base in that 12-inning loss to the Yankees. And they come up with the big hit here early. Castro takes the ball inside.
Well, if you think back to July when the offense was rolling, the Marlins were fantastic at taking opportunities that were given to them. Whether it was an error on the defense, taking the extra base, if they were able to get an extra out, they almost always turned it into something. That has not been the case in the month of August. See if they can't change that tonight.
Castro 0 for 3 last night, couple of walks. Enters the day 6th in the National League with 139 hits. One here could give the Marlins an early lead against the Yankees. 1-1. On a hop right to Neil Walker at second. Marlins can't capitalize on the error. Scoreless through 1. Marlins Park. We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth, of course, and the president of business operations here with the Marlins, Chip Bowers, joins us. Chip, always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, Paul. Thanks. Appreciate it, Todd.
Great to talk to you.
We talked to you yesterday, and I brought it up on the air. I tried to tease it because I knew you'd go into great depth, but I was extremely excited, mainly as a baseball fan, as Neil Walker sends one in the air to right field. Castro in foul ground will make the play for the first out. But some of the things with the Marlins membership going forward to become Marlins members for 2019 and beyond.
Yeah, well, it's really important for us that our fans feel like part of our family. And there's no more important part of our family than our membership base. And those are the folks that are with us half season, full season, in here every night, rooting for their Marlins, representing their city. It's important that we create a membership base where people feel like we have a 365-day interaction with them. It's important that they know that we're listening. It's important that we're engaging frequently, providing events and touch points with the organization, that at the end of the day, they go, you know what, they're part of our family, and they feel like we're a valued member of that organization, and they truly are. And so we're excited to be out again talking about our enrollment campaign. Marlins membership is new for a lot of folks in terms of how we're positioning it, but again, creating member benefits that people can utilize 12 months a year, I think, is a great value proposition for folks, and we've gotten tremendous response thus far.
Now, this has been the year of listening, as you said yesterday, and I think it was a great way of putting it. I know Marlins fans want to hear how the organization has been receptive to their voice.
Well, you know, thanks to Derek and Bruce Sherman, everybody, we felt coming into the first year of the ownership group, we wanted to create a listening campaign. DMLO is the name of the kiosk that we have here and around the building, and not only just through the DMLO platform, but even in terms of day-to-day interaction with our fan base, our season ticket members, our corporate partners, every constituent that we've interacted with in the market. We spend a lot of time asking questions, right? What do you think of your experience at Marlins Park? What do you think about your experience as a season ticket member or corporate partner? And we took that information to heart, and we digested it, and we wanted to come back. We wanted to be thoughtful. We didn't want to rush to judgment and really introduce things that weren't vetted internally or that we didn't feel like were strategic. I think people have appreciated that. I know they have. Again, it's important to us that they know that we're here to build trust and rapport, and the best way to do that is deliver on our promise.
MarlinsEnrollment.com is the website, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, so you can go there for the membership enrollment. What about the ballpark? Are there certain maybe things that may look a little different next year?
There's going to be a lot that looks different next year. I think the last time we got together, we were in San Diego, and I talked about us going around to different ballparks, taking out what worked for their fans in their market, what people are really gravitating towards and getting excited about. And you know, I'm a big believer that we should be pushing the envelope, and we should be innovative and iterative in terms of the type of experience we create for our fans. And so next year we're going to be introducing branded concepts into the concessions. All of our concession stands are going to look completely different, new look, new feel. We're going to have new seating sections around the ballpark, introducing folks to come here and be part of a standing room only section that really speaks to our millennial fan base.
It was a short inning, so we've got another half with you to give us more details coming up for 2019 and beyond here at Marlins Park. Miguel Rojas for the Marlins. Again, back inside the broadcast booth, Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth, and Chip Bowers with us yet again for another half inning, because the last one just 8 pitches. Nicely done there by Trevor Richards. As Dietrich leads things off, I want to give you a chance to kind of expand on some of the things that may look a little different here at the ballpark in terms of a more of a quote-unquote community feeling here at the yard.
Yeah, one of the things we want to do in our right field section is create what we're going to refer to as Community Dad 305, a really ode to Miami and 305 area code. Having people come out, really embrace their heritage, embrace their culture, how that ties into the game of baseball, really create a fandom area where people come together and get excited, cheer, bring their instruments, whatever it is that gets them excited about the game of baseball and the Miami Marlins. We want to create that energy here, and we want it to reflect the Miami marketplace. You know, we talk a lot about authenticity. We wear the name of Miami on our chest night in and night out. It's important that the experience people get here is authentic to the city that they love and really to the people that make it great.
What about party decks, if that's the technical term for them? Just kind of a bar sort of atmosphere. Are there plans for any of those?
Yeah, we're going to be creating new experiences throughout the ballpark. You know, we have a great location now in the Budweiser deck. We see how people interact with that. I think it's important that we have other touch points, both on the promenade level as well as maybe even behind home plate. There's a number of things that we're investigating now. But we want to create community, and so it's important that people come together, they have a good time, they remember their evening at Marlins Park in a way that wants them to come back for more. And like I said, it's iterative. So every time they come, it's a new inviting experience.
I always come back for more food. That's kind of my thing. So let's talk about food and what's going to be available around the ballpark next year.
Well, you know, we have a great section now called the Taste of Miami that's out in left field. One of the things we want to do is weave the Taste of Miami throughout the entire ballpark experience. That's really important to us. So, you know, things that people enjoy now in and around Miami or in Pinecrest or Coral Gables or Coconut Grove, Wynwood, Brickell, you name it, things that people have really become accustomed to and are really passionate about. How do we take some of those elements and weave them into the ballpark experience? You know, one of the great things about sports is it creates lasting memories. And, you know, today I can eat a hot dog at a ballpark, and it takes me back to my very first baseball game. And ironically enough, it was watching the Yankees play at Old Yankee Stadium. Ricky Henderson scores from third, stealing home in the bottom of the 10th against the Texas Rangers and Buddy Bell. Like, I remember it like it was yesterday. And so we want to create those same lasting experiences and memories here. And so when people come in and they see a particular food that they had when they were a kid in and around the market that they grew up in Miami, you know, we want to take people back to that moment so they can share it with the next generation of Marlins fans.
Well, take us back to the Marlins member side of this conversation. Base hit into right field. Great swing by Dean. And what I want to ask you, because I think there's a lot of people out there that are curious to this, and when they think of season tickets, they think of wealthy people and, you know, where that fits in. And the message that I got from you yesterday is that this is a broad question, not only a question, but everybody fits into it. So explain, if you can, where somebody who says they, you know, maybe they want to go to 5 games a year, where might they fit in? What about somebody who might go a little bit more? And then you've got the members that might want to come every day, all 81 ball games.
Yeah, Todd, we're really excited and pleased to be able to offer amenities for all fans, and that starts with our membership base. And so we're actually going to offer $8 season tickets in our Community 305 section. So again, we're going to be able to offer an $8 season ticket where people get great benefits, that they have the flexibility to choose what those benefits are to match their lifestyle. That's really important, right? You want to give people the flexibility to choose benefits that work for them and their families. You know, we're also introducing a 10-game season ticket package. So a lot of times when you get a 10-game pack, it's just that it's a plan. We're offering that as a season ticket. So you still get a lot of great amenities that you would get as a season ticket holder, and a way to really introduce them to the Marlins family, what the membership is all about. It allows them to then grow with us, but it's a great entry point to get into the funnel of being part of the membership base, learn what the benefits are, and then strive to tap into additional benefits that come with additional tenure and additional spend. So we wanted to clarify that process. We felt like that was really important. We've gotten great feedback thus far and only a few days into it. And the number one thing we've heard so far is you listened. And we're very proud of that.
And everybody fits into that. I think it's just a brilliant idea, because you know, I'm up in Parkland. I hear this an awful lot. Everybody fits in different places. Some people want to be around the Marlins a lot more than if they could, and then others say, I've only got so much time, plus I'm a little bit farther away from Marlins Park, but how does that fit my schedule? And I think this is a brilliant way of doing it.
Yeah, it does, and I appreciate you saying that. You know, we want to create more flexibility for people within their schedule. Even within the programming that we're doing next year around weekends, we're going to do what we call peak on peak. So we're really going to focus on our Friday, Saturday, Sunday night events. Right. You know, we want to call it Party in El Parque, right? That's the theme around weekends next year. Friday night is Little Havana nights. We want people to come out after a long week, have a great time, enjoy the experience, have live DJs, know that this is a place to come and unwind. Saturday nights is Party Before Dark. Right. We're going to have some earlier start time, 6:10 next Saturday. We're really excited about that. So our ability to have people come out, whether you're on a date, whether you're a family, whether you're single, this is a place to be. You can go out to dinner afterwards. You eat dinner here. You can go hit Brickell if you want to after the game, or you can get the kids home early to get to sleep before Sunday Fun Day, which is on Sundays are kids' days, kids giveaways, Little League baseball teams will be out. Everything will be catered towards families and kids. Really excited about being a lot more thoughtful about the programming next year is really important, because we've heard that from people, and we want to make sure that every time they come, they have a different sense, a new experience, and there's something that they want to take home and tell others about.
I think it's fascinating. I think you and your team are doing a terrific job, because again, you know, as you and your team did, bounce around a bunch of different ballparks and kind of see how things are. But you know, we also have children, so like Todd and I may understand the game and see the game a little bit differently, but some of the kids just want to come here. They don't know if it's Giancarlo Stanton, Starlin Castro, Babe Ruth out there, or Joe Schmo. They're just at a baseball game, and the fact that you're becoming so welcoming to that family atmosphere to grow that next generation, which again across Major League Baseball has been so important, I think is a phenomenal job.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've got 2 young daughters of my own, an almost 10-year-old and a 7-year-old. They love coming to the ballpark. I can tell you the favorite thing about coming is not only the smell of the grass, but also the taste of the cotton candy. So for them, it's, you know, how do we make sure that food and beverage experience is a winning day out with mom and dad, because that's a really precious time. And I grew up in a town of 30,000 people in North Carolina. You know, my favorite team was the North Carolina Tar Heels. And so everything they did to me was bigger than life. If I would have had the opportunity to come to a major league ballpark with my dad and sit down and watch a game on a regular basis, you know, I think about all the great times we had at football games and basketball games. They'll never leave me. You know, those are the same memories I want to create with my family today.
Well, we appreciate it, and again, terrific job. Thanks so much, you and your team. Always a pleasure.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Looking forward to having me.
We step aside here at Marlins Park, marlinsenrollment.com. Is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By WB Mason. Who but WB Mason, the official office supply company of the Miami Marlins. By Chevrolet. See your South Florida dealer today. And by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. Beautiful night here in South Florida. Paul Severino, Todd Hollinsworth, glad that you are with us. Scoreless game going to the top of the third. Trevor Richards back out there. An 8-pitch second inning for him. Extremely effective as he set down the Yankees in order. He'll face 8, 9, and 1 for the Bronx Bombers here in the third. Austin Romine, Lance Lynn, and then Brett Gardner, the leadoff hitter. Here is Romine. Offers it the first pitch and fouls it off. Homers and 36 RBIs for Romine, who takes a ball inside, 1-1.
I'll tell you what, first time through the lineup, Richards has done a real nice job mixing in just a few breaking balls just to keep these Yankees hitters honest. Here's the changeup. Again, he throws it to both sides of the plate, so you're going to see it to the lefties and you're going to see it to the righties. Now, he's not trying to get away from the changeup. He still wants to throw it in that 30 to 40% range. The idea of using that breaking ball just a little bit more certainly helps him create a little bit more of a horizontal game across home plate.
Swung on and missed, and that's the third strikeout of the night for Richards. One away here in the third. Winter is coming to Marlins Park. Join us as we celebrate Game of Thrones night on Friday, August 31st. Declare your allegiance to House Targaryen, Stark, Lannister, or Tyrell when you purchase a ticket package and receive an exclusive t-shirt with your house crest. Plus, take a photo on the famous Iron Throne. Visit marlins.com/GOT. Those are the t-shirts there. The Dragons, the Direwolves, the Lions, the Roses, all different t-shirt options. It's all about allegiance. So you bring your Marlins gear, and for that one night, you cover it up with your house gear. How's that? Does that sound right?
Got you back.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Whatever you just said, I'm in.
Where were we? The throne was just somewhere. Was it Washington, D.C.? I think it was D.C., right?
I believe so. It was on the last road. I think it was. Yeah, it was either D.C. or where were we before D.C.?
I think it was Atlanta.
The life of the baseball life, right?
That's right. That's right. Back-to-back strikeouts, and 4 on the night for Richards.
Hey, Marlins fans, now you can stream games live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go, presented by Coors Light. Download the app and take Fox Sports Florida and Marlins baseball wherever you go.
Brett Gardner takes a strike on the outside corner. Trevor Richards has struck out 3 consecutive Yankees if you go back to Greg Bird to end the second. Got Gardner on a fly ball out to left field back in the first. Low to Gardner, who is, in the course of his last 7 games and 1 at bat, 4 for 27. Did walk a couple of times in last night's ball game. Richards set to deal the 1-1. Gardner spins away. Gardner got out of the way of a bow tie last night as well, thankfully.
There it is. He's got great numbers, obviously. Richards has commanded his fastball well so far tonight. Against the lefties, he's got to be able to work it in and out. His changeup typically stays away. That fastball, he's got to pick up a few strikes. That inside corner.
On 2-2. Just got a piece of that one. Fouled it off the plate. And Gardner will see another.
It appears that Richards has got that kind of changeup going tonight. Watching hitters slow their feet and their hands down, trying to see the baseball and defend against that changeup.
It again, induces a fly ball out to shallow right, where Starlin Castro puts it away. Another 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Richards. Here in Miami, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Miami Marlins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. A strike from Lance Lynn to his counterpart Trevor Richards, who leads things off for the Marlins in the third. It's Richards and then the top of the order, Rafael Ortega and JT Realmuto.
As advertised for Lynn tonight, 37 pitches, 32 fastballs, up over 86%. First time through the lineup.
And an excuse me swing for strike three. Another strikeout for Lynn. That is his fifth.
Lynn is the type. Again, the numbers prove this out. The Marlins are going to have to force him off his game plan, or they're going to continue to see the fastball, the two-seamer, that sinker, and a bit of a cutter all night long. I mean, that's how Lynn operates. He's going to continue to attack the strike zone with the fastball until he gives up a few hits.
There's a strike to Rafael Ortega. You saw Eliezer Hernandez in the Marlins dugout. He will get the ball tomorrow night against Sean Newcomb. Atlanta Braves in town for a 4-game weekend set. Ortega, foul.
It's
hugged the line.
Could very well be the right call. It was interesting. I got caught up in watching Angel move his feet. He kind of had to move to get out of the way, and then there was a late foul call. Let's take another look. Take a hard hit. Man, oh man, that second bounce was still on the line.
Because it's in front of the bag, it is not a reviewable call. Ortega's over there just to get a little bit more.
And needed to get a new bat.
Adhesive spray there. A little extra tack. Well, you saw Angel Hernandez, the twinkle-toed Angel Hernandez over at first. Alan Porter is the second base umpire tonight. Todd Titchener over at third, and the crew chief Bill Miller is behind home plate tonight. I will not be calling Angel Hernandez twinkle-toes to his face. Don't even ask.
It's funny, I was just thinking that.
Not gonna happen, pal.
I know where the umpire's room is.
So do I, and I'll be walking the other way. Ball and 2 strikes to Ortega. Struck out back in the first inning. One time through the order for Lance Lynn. 5 strikeouts. A couple of base runners, one his own doing on an E1. And a base hit for Austin Dean.
We mentioned that the Yankees are 33 games over 500 on the season and doing it despite all of the injuries. One thing that's been impressive, the additions of Lynn and Jay Happ have been to this Yankees ball club. The Yankees have won all 7 of their starts, fighting to go 5-0 with a 2.66 ERA.
Well, when they got Lynn a few weeks ago, the original plan was, okay, he'll go into the bullpen. He was in the bullpen for 1 outing, and then Sonny Gray, who was a deadline acquisition but last year for the Yankees, this year just has not been able to get into any sort of rhythm. So Lynn inserted into the rotation, and had a bit of a clunker his last time out, but for the most part has been pretty good in this Yankees rotation. The pitching coach Larry Rothschild. Payoff pitch to Ortega. This is low and in. That's the first walk issued tonight by Lance Lynn. Marlins have a base runner with 1 out in the 3rd. The Toyota trend. Major League Baseball this season and interleague play, of course, with the way that the leagues are set up. There's interleague play every day, so lots of games, but it's been the NL that is 130 up and 117 down.
Well, probably shouldn't be surprised at those numbers, Paul, right? The American League's much more top-heavy than the National League this season.
Very true. Very true. The seeding's just about done, right? The American League.
Right.
6 weeks left, 5.5 weeks left.
I think it was done with about 2 weeks into the season. It felt like. Now the National League, that's entirely another story.
Whole other ball of wax.
That's right.
Yeah, the Red Sox an 8-game cushion on the Yankees in the East. Cleveland's up 13.5 on Minnesota in the Central. Houston and Oakland going back and forth. It's a 1-game difference at the moment. Seattle's 5.5 back, so the AL West still has some drama for these last 5.5 weeks or so. The wild card right now, the Yankees are 4 clear of the Oakland A's to host that wild card game, and then the next team out is the Seattle Mariners, 4.5 back of Oakland. Inside to JT Realmuto, 2 balls and a strike. Meanwhile, National League a little bit different when it comes to the wild card. St. Louis and Milwaukee tied for the wild card spots right now. Colorado a game back, Philadelphia a game back, Dodgers 3 back. And none of the divisions are separated by more than 2.5 games.
Well, and I love in the National League that there's push in all 3 divisions. It's not, you know, somebody's running away with it. Maybe there's a wild card conversation for that second team, like even the Yankees. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not saying they can't win the division, but come on. I mean, the Boston Red Sox, holy cow. So
yeah.
You kind of see where I'm going. In the National League, all 3 divisions have got teams in that division pushing each other.
Grounded to 3rd, and Andujar gets the out at 2nd. And Realmuto will reach on the fielder's choice, 2 away.
Bring your pup out to Marlins Park for our 2nd Bark at the Park of the season, presented by Tito's Handmade Vodka. You can enjoy the game with your furry friend on Sundays. The Marlins take on the Braves. Purchase your tickets today at marlins.com/park.
Be fun to have the pooches here. As long as you're not the one cleaning up after them, it's fun. Got a little Boston Terrier myself at home. homer. Love that. He's probably napping right now if I know him at all. This is Torres, throws across his body and gets Anderson. That is a special play by Gleyber Torres. Fielded it and threw it basically in one motion, and a strike to Greg Bird. That's how the third ends. Scoreless.
Fantastic job this season. Four-seam fastball, change, and curve. That's the arsenal. You see the fastball there for an out. Well, another fastball for a strikeout. How about that changeup? You knew it was going to be a factor tonight. Great depth. The ability to move it in and out. That may be the key pitch in the first. That third pitch. Good changeup there. One more changeup. That's Romine. And, well, Lance Lynn, he hasn't been in the National League in a while. Good to see. I mean, that's it. I mean, you look at the numbers already. 55% coming in on the season, four-seam fastball, 31% changeup, 14% curve, and I think the first time through you saw the arsenal kind of spread out that way. Got one out on the curveball, picked up a couple Ks on that change. A couple of tough outs with the fastball.
Giancarlo Stanton waits for an 0-1. Takes a little inside. Stanton walked back in the first inning. It's Stanton, Hicks, and Andujar for the Yankees here in the fourth. Two and one. Well, here's the thing. Now we're into that second time through the order. Maybe they've seen that changeup. Might think, well, that second time through the order, batters may have more success. Has not been the case this year. 262 first time through the order. 236 second time through the order for Richards. He's on a good run right now. Not bad for a kid that was undrafted out of Drury University. Pitched an independent ball before signing with the Marlins in 2016.
Now, I kind of like the game plan. Watch him attack hitters, especially big, strong right-handed hitters. Hit the ball really far. You know, whatever you're thinking about, get you thinking about the changeup, throw the fastball off that outside edge. Throw it enough out there, get you thinking about that, start busting that changeup in.
JT sets up low and in, and he goes to the changeup right there against Stanton for the first out in the fourth.
I tell you, there is some great run on the changeup tonight. Some great downward action as well. And really finishing that off, deceiving the Yankee hitters. Seen a couple of these guys, a couple of the Yankees step into the box and it almost sitting on the changeup, and it hasn't benefited them. All it actually has done is put them in position to swing at a ball in the dirt.
This is Aaron Hicks, who was the first of 5 strikeout victims tonight for Trevor Richards. Anderson even with the bag, off the line a little bit at third, as Hicks sees a 1-1 that's in the dirt. The changeup, of course, has been such a big pitch for Richards. His last time out, he only had 8 swings and misses on the changeup. His 3 starts before that, 10 swings and misses, 10 swings and misses, 13 swings and misses.
I think it's been absolutely so much fun to watch him operate this season. Obviously getting himself in the big leagues. There's so many of these young hitters, right, are looking for the ball down in the zone, and we talk launch angle. Guys trying to drop and drive. That changeup is such a weapon to the bottom of the strike zone. You see a lot of these guys thinking that they're getting ready to lift and separate and coming up empty.
In a way, you're almost beating them at their own game.
Right. Well, and again, I guess kind of maybe the way that you spin it all the way back around is like 10 years ago, I'm not sure this necessarily would work. Guys, hit differently and they approach the strike zone differently. Most guys were honing their swings to level off. We've had a lot of talk about drop and drive and a little bit more launch angle. You see hitters today really hunting pitches at the bottom of the zone.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy-saving expert. Go to FPL.com/beattheheat.
One on and one out after the second walk tonight for Richards. And here is Andujar. Pops this one up right behind home plate. That'll get into the seats. 0-1.
Yeah, we talked to Andujar first time through. He's had an impressive rookie season. 20 home runs. Torres was spots down in the lineup. There's only a couple of home runs behind him. Torres has got 18. Torres happens to get to 20. He would be the first 2 Yankee rookies to have 20 home run seasons in the same season.
Speaking of rookies, here our Rocket Mortgage breakdown. Look to become the first rookie Triple Crown winner since Mike Trout. Whatever happened to him? 297, 20 home runs, 66 RBIs for Andujar. Fouls it back again. 0-2.
It'd be good if Andujar stayed on that career path.
I think the Yankees would sign up for that in a heartbeat.
Sure they would.
Since they, in a way, had a chance at Mike Trout, who grew up in their backyard, basically, out in New Jersey. I believe it was the Mark Teixeira compensation pick that went to the Angels. And the Angels took Randall Grichuk and then Mike Trout with the next pick. Back-to-back picks.
Did it surprise you that 2 rookies, now of course this hasn't happened yet, Torres still needs to come up with 2 more home runs, but it feels like there's enough time and he probably will get there. Does that surprise you? The 2 rookies have not hit 20 homers in the same season in Yankees uniforms? With their history?
Yes and no, only because, I mean, at least in the last 20 years, as Andujar strikes out in the second out of this inning. It's really only been the last couple of seasons, maybe 3 or 4 seasons even, that the team has relied so much on its youth. It's been that veteran-laden ball club for a long time. Of course, when our CEO Derek Jeter was there for a long time, he was a Rookie of the Year in 1996. But then it was, Posada a couple of years after that, Bernie Williams a couple of years prior. So even those, when they had that core 4, core 5 that everybody talks about, they didn't burst on the scene together the way that
one at a time.
Torres.
That's what you're trying to tell me. So
right.
You're not all that surprised. Considering their history,
they've been around a while and they've had some great players.
I didn't grow up a Yankee fan, and I guess that's kind of my point. When I saw that, I'm like, are you kidding me? I mean, that's unbelievable.
Neil Walker lines one out to right field, in and out of the glove of Ortega. Being waved around third, and Dietrich's throw is not in time. Well, a terrific effort by Ortega to dive, but he couldn't haul it in, and the Yankees have a 1-0 lead.
Now, this is an incredible effort by Ortega. And it's his effort that leads to this ball getting away. Look at the full extension. Hits him in the palm of the glove. Just not able to squeeze it closed. And watch how it jumps out of there. Not only did it just jump out, it got to the warning track. And by getting to the warning track, it started to roll. Incredible effort. And it gets down into the corner. This will allow Hicks to come all the way around. You pair that with missing Starlin Castro on the cut.
And now Torres lines one foul. Well, it's the same inning and the same player driving in a run. Walker had the RBI in the 4th inning last night. He's the only Yankee run until the 12th inning. Walker gets him on the board tonight.
And he continues to hit rockets to the right side. A couple of them last night, line drive base hits. Hit that ball hard as well.
Blocked there by Real Muto, 1-1.
Walker, in a lot of ways, the everyday answer now that Didi Gregorius is out on the disabled list earlier this week. Slide Torres over. Play Walker every day, who happens to be hot. Amazing what the Yankees have been able to do with all the injuries.
They do have incredible depth. You mentioned Sabathia. Sounds like he's slated to start on Friday when the team goes to Baltimore. They'll leave Miami, go up to Baltimore, and then Sabathia should get the ball on Friday night at Camden Yards. Ball and 2 strikes to Gleyber Torres after Richards steps off.
I don't have many teammates left, but CC still getting it done. And it's amazing how his game has changed. When I knew CC, he was young, pretty spry and nimble, and through 96, 97. I know that's not necessarily the game anymore. He's packed on a few more pounds. He's a big guy, but I'll tell you, he has had one heck of a career.
Well, now with a bunch of pitchers, Felix Hernandez is one of those guys that they always say, well, now you've had that great stuff throughout your career and you go from being a thrower to a pitcher. He's one guy that has made that transition.
He's reinvented himself, and I enjoy that as much as any story in baseball.
1-2 to Torres, who swings and misses at the top of the zone. The Yankees get one on the RBI double from Neil Walker. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. The Cleveland Clinic, stiff joints, aches and pains, trust Cleveland Clinic Florida, the #1 orthopedic care in Florida. And by Simply Healthcare, live the Simply life. Roof closed, windows closed. Nice night inside here at Marlins Park. Last night, a 2-1 Yankee victory in 12 innings. Tonight, a low-scoring affair through the first 3.5. Starting with Castro to lead things off. Takes the ball in the dirt from Lance Lynn. And that's how the bottom of the 4th starts. It's Castro, Dietrich, and Austin Dean for the Marlins. Lynn has 5 strikeouts tonight, which means he now has 132 on the season. He's reached 10 wins and 150 strikeouts in each of his 5 full major league seasons. Castro shoots one out to right field. Stanton is back. A couple of steps out of the track for the first out. They check in with Craig Minervini.
Thank you very much, Paul. Derek Dietrich coming up to the plate, coming off what he called the best ball he's hit all year. That was in D.C. Told us about it. Going 448 feet at Nationals Park on Saturday. His career high 15th dinger of the year. Dietrich's been a career 250 hitter coming into the season, over 1,400 at-bats this year. He's been around 270, up even near 290 earlier. And he said, hey, he doesn't call it tinkering from what you've seen in past years with all the changing. He thinks it was just learning what worked for him and a maturing process. And he says since last July, as he hits this one a long way, Paul.
Into the corner. That one's going to fall in fair. And it bounces over the head of Gardner, who gets it in, but after a 1-out double from Dietrich. Trekkers, go ahead.
Well, you saw that good swing there that he's been working on, but what he said about his swing is since last July, he has stayed with basically the same concept, and he's kind of learned through all the, if you want to call it tinkering, what he calls maturing, what is really the plan for him. It's going well for him, and he's been hitting the ball pretty hard all year long, guys.
Yeah, Craig, thanks so much. Again, this is a guy who at times for pockets of the season has been a go-to bat in this lineup.
Yeah, most certainly. A couple of base hits last night, and I think for Dietrich, when he's absolutely at his best, you see, much like the last swing, the one that was hit 340 feet down that left field line. Think back to the long home run we just talked about, 448. Where was it? Dead center field. Now, he's got pull power. Sometimes he gets into those little pockets where he loves to pull the baseball. But boy, oh boy, when he stays on the ball, watch the head and the eyes to the point of contact. Still wide open concentration and driving it over Gardner's head. I mean, that's not easy to do in this ballpark.
And on the hands of Austin Dean, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, as Craig mentioned a moment ago, that 448-foot home run, not just Dietrich's longest, but the longest hit by a Marlin this season. Florida Lottery in-game jackpot. In fact, Justin Bour just did a home run in Washington, D.C. with the Phillies about 5 or 10 minutes ago. Grounded foul by Dean, 2 balls and a strike. Dean with a base hit the other way back in the 2nd inning.
Justin Bour hit his 20th home run of the season tonight in D.C. off of Steven Strasburg.
To dead center, just like Dietrich.
That's right. See G.A.B. getting some playing time with the Phillies. It's off to a pretty good start.
Steven Strasburg back off the DL a day after the Nationals make a couple of moves. Of course, Lance Lynn used to play with the St. Louis Cardinals, and Matt Adams is heading back to St. Louis. Daniel Murphy on his way to the Chicago Cubs. 2 moves yesterday for the Nats, who sat through a rain delay last night and beat the Phillies. So the thing with the Nationals this year has kind of been 2 steps forward, 1 step back all year, and that's why evidently yesterday they made the decision to make some moves, get something back for a couple of pending free agents.
Yeah, they'll probably go on a run now and win like 7 or 8 straight.
Wouldn't shock you, would it?
Well, I mean, I mean, yesterday kind of felt like a little bit of a white flag, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's been talked about as much as anything in baseball. And we certainly were just in D.C. over the weekend, and very much the conversation then. Bryce Harper put on waivers, claimed by the Los Angeles Dodgers, and pulled back.
To Dean, line base hit into center field. Dietrich had to hold up on the line drive that went right over Walker's head. But another hard hit ball for Austin Dean, and the Marlins have runners on the corners here in the fourth.
Yeah, great approach. Both his base hits tonight against Lynn. Middle away. Sinking fastball, head down, drives it just past Walker's glove. Nice job by Dietrich. You say, well, wait a minute, what are you talking about? He didn't score. All right, well, remember last night in the ball game where he was a little too aggressive at first base on a line drive, a couple of shuffle steps towards second? That's right, he got doubled off. In that situation, you've got to make sure that the ball gets through the infield. It's the actual right read. I know, certainly want to see Marlins scoring. In that situation, you've got to do what is right. He did it right there.
So it's Miguel Rojas. Offers at the first pitch, fouls it off. It's 0-1.
Dean continues to hit the ball hard, 104 miles an hour off the bat. This is his second rocket tonight. Speaking of line drives, Miguel Rojas leads the Marlins in line drives. Got 93 of them this season.
Line drive would be nice. Fly ball would get the job done too. Dietrich at third, Dean at first. And they'll check on Dean.
Well, base stealers against Lynn this season, 6 for 11.
This is that fly ball, but I don't think it's going to be deep enough. Neil Walker in foul territory for the second out. Short 2-game series here with the Yankees, and then the Braves are in town. South Florida Honda dealers present Marlins Live, the pregame show. Craig Minervini and Jeff Nelson from center field. First place Braves come to town. Sean Newcomb and Eliezer Hernandez gets the start. Don Mattingly talked in the last few weeks about picking out the right spots to get Hernandez back into the starting rotation at times. He's done a nice job out of the bullpen. He's picked up a tick in velocity the last few weeks. He's been working with Juan Nieves about getting that right release point where he can be the most effective. Sierra fouls that one back. Also tomorrow night, we can go into greater depth tomorrow, but it gives Eliezer Hernandez the opportunity to, truly maybe work on some pitches. Not that you're going to necessarily treat it as though it's March 20th in a spring training outing when the first place team comes to town, but not that 1-inning burst. Maybe able to use the arsenal a little bit.
That's a good idea against the Atlanta Braves. They're rolling right now.
They are. So I've heard.
They lead 1-0 tonight. Acuna led off the ball game with a home run, playing the Pittsburgh Pirates off Trevor Williams. He's having himself one heck of a second half
In the last 2 weeks, nonetheless. Yeah, another leadoff home run. He got 3 times against the Marlins last week. That 4-game series is the last time that we'll see the Atlanta Braves this year. One ball and 2 strikes to Sierra. Runner goes from first, and Sierra fights it off.
Nice job, Sierra. It's a tough pitch to handle, in on his hands. Probably borderline, might have been a ball, but too close to take.
This 1-2 pitch from Lynn will be his 70th. Again, Dean leaves from first, but Sierra comes up empty. Marlins leave a couple on. This game moves to the top of the 5th here at Marlins Park. Nothing lead. A Neil Walker RBI double in the 4th. Time for the Chevrolet Prospect Spotlight. Joe Nanand, the Southern League Player of the Week. Marlins have had a couple of those this year. A 2nd-round pick back in 2017. Doing some pretty good work over there at Jacksonville. I mentioned Robert Duggar last week. He had a career-high 10 strikeouts over 7 scoreless innings. Monte Harrison has hit safely in 5 of his last 6. Also where Lewis Brinson is doing his rehab right now. Played another rehab game. Brinson.
Well, isn't Dunand, isn't he the nephew of Alex Rodriguez, who
that is correct,
happened to be here today as well?
That is correct. That is correct.
There you go.
Working with Miguel Andujar before the game.
you go. Say hi to the skipper. Some instruction in.
I don't know if he sleeps, frankly, Alex Rodriguez. Every time I see him, he's doing something, whether it's the Sunday night games on ESPN or
J-Lo
studio stuff.
Just go
Fox.
there. J-Lo.
Hanging out with Jennifer Lopez. He was just at the VMAs like 2 nights ago. He's everywhere.
Keeping tabs on his nephew.
Yeah, he's fat as well. I think last week, because I follow him on Instagram, and I think he was somewhere in Europe last week for like 5 days. I'm telling you, he doesn't sleep. Right back to Richards. Knocks it down, and we'll get Greg Bird. Kind of knuckled back to him, I think.
Well, what you're going to see, and I think Richards is going to be okay, but everybody's going to come out and check just to make sure. Bird, that wasn't a full velocity swing from Bird. It was actually the changeup. You're going to watch him slow his hands down, trying to make contact. I mean, it's amazing the effect of the changeup and what it does to swings. So watch Bird's reaction. Tried to slow his hands down just enough, and in fact, it even got jammed a little bit. So this wasn't an entire rocket off the bat.
Pitching coach, training staff. Dustin Luker's out there. Pitching coach Juan Nieves, manager Don Mattingly. They're all out there checking on Richards, shaking out that left leg.
The one thing you do have to worry about, especially below the knee more than anything, is a cramp or a knot in that calf.
That looks like he's going to be okay to stay in this ballgame. Here's Austin Romine. Takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. Romine struck out back in the 3rd inning. One of 7 strikeouts tonight for Trevor Richards.
We'll have to keep tabs on that changeup. He's thrown 25 of them tonight for the 7 strikeouts on the changeup.
To Anderson at 3rd. Strong throw gets Romine for the 2nd out. Season high 10 strikeouts for Richards on April 25th. That was in LA. That was the last start he made before going back down to the minor leagues. Since he has been back in Colorado in June, 8 strikeouts. July 28th against the Nationals, 8 strikeouts. Right now ahead of Lance Lynn, 0-1, who he struck out back in the 3rd. The 1-2 pitch from Richards. In the air, right field. Ortega in the foul ground, slides and can't come up with it.
Gotta love how Ortega defends. Love his game. It's after everything. 100% effort every time. Almost comes up with an incredible catch. You see him down on those legs trying to make the basket catch. He just ran out of room. Tell you what, people around the Marlins continue to rave about Rafael Ortega. We're not just talking stats or hitting streaks here. It's just his overall approach to the game. He's been an answer at the top of the lineup, and his defense has been pretty good.
Over first, Dietrich can't get there. Not enough air underneath that one. They just fought off a few here, made Richards work. His fifth.
He's had 23 career hits.
Knows what he's doing.
Handle the bat a little bit. He's a big guy, 6'5", 280 pounds.
Number of years with the St. Louis Cardinals. Called strike 3. That's 8 strikeouts for Richards. We go to the bottom of the 5th here in Miami.
Energy in the crowd. We all love it here. Yankees in town. Marlin fans are out. And Don Mattingly says it's a big deal for his players to play at home in front of this group.
Yeah, I think it's good for us, honestly, to play in that type of atmosphere. You know, again, I think there's just different experiences that come. We've talked about how many experiences that you have on the field and what you learn from different things that happen from a play or an at-bat or, you know, just your your emotions, and how do you deal with that?
And guys, Trevor Richards up here at the plate to begin the bottom of the 5th. He said, I'm keeping a close eye on my players. How do they react to these situations? Yes, every game is another game. You prepare for it, but it's different when you play games in the race, in the hunt, and with this kind of energy. And it's a chance to really look at your guys, and to get where you want to go, you have to play well in these type of games. So it's a good learning experience, and obviously it's a lot of fun for all of us too.
Well, most certainly. It's a great point, Craig. Great piece right there. You're absolutely right. And I think this little 2-game series is a great way to see it. As we saw last night, and listen, I saw the same thing. There's a few. I think you kind of get overwhelmed when you see the size of the crowd. You felt the heat of a few of the moments, and we talked about this in the open. The Marlins didn't do their best job coming through with runners in scoring position. They had a number of opportunities to win the game last night by some guys who were hot hitters. And I guess where I'm going with this, 24 hours later, you get the same environment. You got a chance to do it tonight. You got a chance to get back out in front of a large crowd. Yankees are in the building. They're in playoff contention, and you're trying to go out and win a baseball game.
1 ball and 2 strikes here to Trevor Richards, who on a hop sends one to Greg Bird. Lynn covers for the first out. Well, we talked about it in the open. It's kind of how last night went. Marlins had their chances. It was just a matter of getting over the hump, getting that hit with runners in scoring position, which they didn't get. Be a little bit more careful on the base pass. They made 5 outs.
Well, and again, listen, maybe that stands out to the out on the base pass. The moments where Don Mattingly's talking about growing are the runners with scoring, runners in scoring position. Listen, I felt this in my career. When you get into your season, you get into your career, you realize you start playing in front of people. It's tough under all circumstances. Then you realize certain at bats during the course of a game are a little bit easier. Getting guys on that leadoff at bat in an inning is a little bit easier. Those run scoring situations, they get tougher with big crowds. Crowd gets into it, momentum picks up, there's a buzz, there's a thump, there's an anticipation. That is all playing out. That's where you really have to bear down and concentrate and find a way to game plan and come through.
Well, that's the learning experience.
Sure it is.
Listen, I mean, these guys have all seen 95 miles an hour throughout their career. They know how to handle a fastball, but can you handle a fastball when the place is jumping, when it's late August, when the bases are loaded?
The winning runs at third base.
Exactly. There's so many other variables that a 95 mile an hour fastball last night was not the same 95 mile an hour fastball from Double-A, let's just say, 2 years ago.
Well, it gives you a little glimpse of what playoff baseball is like. That's where that intensity takes itself to another level. I tell people this all the time. Getting to the big leagues is one thing, staying in the big leagues is another thing, and then finding a way to succeed in the playoffs, that's a whole nother animal. These young men right here are learning not only how to keep their feet on the ground at the big league level, but how to compete against some of the games bigger.
There's a hot shot past Walker and into right field. Ortega with a base hit, and that will extend his hit streak to 7 games.
Ortega continues to put together great at-bats. High fastball, inner third, rips it into right field. Second time on base tonight. He had a walk in the third. Getting it done from the top spot. Setting up the boys in the middle.
JT Realmuto. Strikeout in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the third.
4th hit for the Marlins tonight. Coming into this inning, 87% fastballs.
Side to JT, 1-1. Bird holding Ortega on at first, and Walker playing double play depth. A big hole on the right side of the infield for Realmuto. Up the middle, that's Walker with the flip to Torres, and they double up Realmuto. Through 5 here at Marlins Park, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead on the Marlins. point. Just one hit, but that hit was an RBI double. Here is the pitch selection comparison of the two starters.
It's pretty interesting, right? So look at Lance Lynn. We told you about this coming into the ballgame. You're going to see a lot of fastballs, 89 total pitches, 73 fastballs. I mean, it is unbelievable the percentage that he leads. Now, you've got some variations to that. Of course, a little two-seamer, a little cutter, but again, loves to lead with the fastball. Look over at Richards. Changeup. Huge pitch for him as well. 33 of them. It's definitely the story, although I am very impressed with the fact that he's got up to 12 curveballs tonight. In his last 4 starts, he's been in the single digits.
And those numbers we're looking at were percentages, but
right.
Nonetheless, the balance of the pitches for both guys kind of going to their strengths, and it has worked for both. We go to the top of the 6th here. 1-1-1 the line score for the Yankees. 0-4-0 for the Marlins. Top of the order for the Yanks: Brett Gardner, Giancarlo Stanton, and Aaron Hicks. Fly ball out to left field in the first to pop up to second in the third for Brett Gardner.
Tell you what, it's been a while since I think I've said curveball in the same outing twice. With Trevor on the mound. That was a fantastic curveball right there. Caught a little bit on the edge. You see Gardner having some words. Bill Miller about the strike zone, but he threw him a 2-seam fastball off the inside edge, ran it back, and then went back to a curveball.
And Gardner just serves this one out to left field for a leadoff base hit in the 6th. There is Stanton with 3 Marlins on the left side of the infield. Gardner away from first. Ball 1 to Stanton. Walked and struck out. Going against the numbers a little bit here.
Absolutely, yeah. That is a strong shift there. 65% up the middle the other way.
Now, in fairness, those numbers take into account every pitcher, every pitch,
right?
All the different selections and everything else. So,
well, it doesn't factor the changeup as well. And again, that's the idea, is that when you see the changeup, most right-handed hitters will get out in front and pull it on the ground. Let's go ahead and give you Stanton's hits by direction this season. Kind of plays into that. Left field 46, center field 36, right field 37. Talked an awful lot about Stanton and swing adjustments last year, and this is what his game really has become. He does not favor one side of the field. Power to all fields, hits to all fields as well.
Check over there on Gardner. Stolen base in last night's ball game. Castro has been communicating with Miguel Rojas for the better part of this at bat with Stanton. Just kind of where to be as they check with Angel Hernandez. Says no swing. Comes the payoff pitch. Gardner goes. Stanton swings and misses. Throw to second is not in time. And Real Muto is checking with the home plate umpire, Bill Miller, because it looked like he may have collided a little bit with Stanton on the throw.
All right, let's take another look. This is the changeup. It gets all the way down into the dirt. Well, just above the dirt. JT backhand throw. Stanton really didn't cross home plate until after the ball was gone.
Second time tonight, Richards has retired Stanton. That is his 9th strikeout, one shy of a career high. Here's Aaron Hicks. So Gardner gets credit for a stolen base, his 13th of the year. He is in scoring position for Aaron Hicks. They'll throw to second, and Gardner is back. Speaking of Gardner and steals, the Toyota inside look. The Yankees all-time stolen base leaders. Brett Gardner moving up, adding one more past Willie Randolph last couple of weeks. Next up is Ricky Henderson and our CEO, Derek Jeter. Most steals in Yankees history.
Did you know that?
I mean, I probably could have guessed. I think he's on the.
You'd have guessed Derek Jeter.
He's on a short list of.
You wouldn't have gone Ricky Henderson or anywhere else?
He played almost 20 years there.
I
Ricky
know.
didn't have that much time. A lot of steals, I get it, but
A long history, man. I'd say so. I'll give you credit for it.
just saying. There's a lot. I said it last night. There's a lot of leaderboards that Yankee leaderboards Jeter's on the top of. Prior to Alex Rodriguez getting 3,000 hits, he was the only one to get 3,000 hits with the Yankees. And all their terrific players that have gone through there. Chatting things over with Bruce Sherman and Tino Martinez. Ball and a strike to Aaron Hicks, who struck out in the first, walked and scored in the fourth. The game's only run. Richards trying to keep it that way. Gardner continues to dance in an attempt to distract Richards.
Now there's a little bounce once he gets his primary lead. As Richards comes set, he's kind of jumping towards third base. Just getting everybody's attention. There it is. There he goes. It's always such a funny conversation. You don't say, I did my job trying to get him off his game or distract him until you actually see the result. So we'll see if it actually works. I always find that funny in baseball, right? I'm distracting the pitcher right now.
Yeah, he struck out the side. It didn't matter.
Well, again, that's my point. Exactly. I've heard it forever.
Richards has to worry about Hicks right here. Hitter's count, 3 balls and a strike. Gardner inches off the second base bag. Hicks to the right field. It's going to fall in front of Ortega, who comes up throwing. Gets it all the way to home plate. Up to second on the throw goes Hicks.
Now, 2 really good things happen here. 1 bad thing. Ortega does a fantastic job baiting Gardner, throws the glove up and freezes him. He has to freeze. He has to respect the potential catch. You see it right there, but unfortunately Ortega comes in and unloads, and this throws so high that Hicks is able to move up, takes the double play out of order. And Gardner throws, really has no shot at scoring, but Hicks read that the entire way. You got to give credit to Hicks for reading that as well. Not everybody would have taken the extra base. He did.
So out to the mound, the pitching coach Juan Nieves. Second and third, one out. It's Miguel Andujar at the plate. Harlan Garcia up in the Marlins bullpen. He started a game against the Yankees in the Bronx back in April. Pitched very well. What do you think the play is here? With Andujar up, first base is open, Neil Walker on deck. Is there any thought to perhaps walking Andujar to load the base and set up a force anywhere?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the attack. I think what you're going to try to do is get Andujar out. I think ideally the way that you have throughout this ball game. He's a strikeout victim in the fourth, and again the numbers favor Richards going at the righties. Now Walker's got some big hits in this series already. He's driven in a run tonight with a double. I think ideally you'd love to get Andujar out, potentially work around Walker, and then go at Torres. Again, that is absolutely playing to the splits, and we know the splits certainly favor Richards going up against the righties. Or, excuse me, the lefties. Meaning go at this guy.
2-0 to Andujar. Grounded back to the mound in the first and struck out in the fourth. Two runners in scoring position here.
And there you go. All right.
2-0, they will intentionally walk it.
Well, they wanted to see if Andujar would chase outside the zone. He certainly showed that he would earlier. It does set up a potential double play. Walker in the series has reached in 5 of 7 at bats. Maybe here's your angle. Out around.
Yeah, it's not going to be Richards to face Walker. It will be Harlan Garcia. As Don Mattingly comes out to make the Florida Lottery call to the bullpen. Garcia will inherit a bases loaded 1-out situation in the 6th. To the bullpen. The new Monopoly jackpot scratch-offs from the Florida Lottery are a new spin on a classic. They're loaded with prizes from $10,000 to $2 million, so unleash the excitement anytime. The Florida Lottery, it's your ticket. Must be 18 or older to play. Play responsibly. So it's Harlan Garcia seeing the Yankees for a second time this season. Again, was a starter when the Marlins went to the Bronx back in April. His 20th game overall, and will try to pitch out of a bases loaded 1-out situation against Neil Walker, who the Yankees, or the Marlins I guess in a way, flip him around to the right side.
Well, that's exactly what you wanted to do. Walker 169 from the right side this season. He is a career 258 hitter as a righty. This is the matchup that you were trying to work towards. I
fair to call it smooth sailing through the first 4 innings for Trevor Richards. He had 8 strikeouts through the first 5 innings rather. 8 strikeouts through the first 5 and just 1 hit. Walker out to center field. Sierra moving back. That will score Gardner easily. Throw goes towards shortstop, and on the sacrifice fly, it's 2-0.
Well, Neil Walker continues to be the #1 run producer in this series. Hasn't been a whole lot of offense. Drives in his 3rd run. 3 of the 4. Gets himself a changeup. Immediate deep center field, but more than enough to get the job done.
That run, of course, charged to Richards. His line is not complete yet, but 5 1/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. Gleyber Torres swings and misses. Torres a fly out and a strikeout. Right field, Ortega toward the line will have room, and Garcia gets a couple of fly balls. One of them brings home a run on the sacrifice fly. Through 5 1/2 here in Miami. 2-0. Miami. It is Lance Lynn and the Yankees with a 2-0 lead on the Marlins. But this day in Major League history, Nolan Ryan, his 5,000, such a huge number, 5,000th strikeout in 1989. He would add 714 more. He got aforementioned Ricky Henderson. Swing and miss. Believe it or not, it was 96 miles an hour. Complete game, 5-hitter. Lost that game 2-0, however. Only pitcher with 5,000 strikeouts, Nolan Ryan. 7 no-hitters to his name. You face him? You guys cross paths?
No. Just a little too young. I am a little too young.
But I asked that because it says, 96 miles an hour. And all you hear is his 96 was way more than 96.
Right. Well, and that's actually kind of where I was steering it. It's funny because we kind of thumb our nose at 96 nowadays.
Right. Everybody throws 96. But I guess it's where the radar guns are set up, right? The radar guns now are
release point
aimed at
right.
the fingertips, whereas back when Nolan Ryan was pitching, it was more at home plate, and the pitch will lose a little velocity at that point.
As I think Robin Ventura will attest to. he's about as intimidating as they come anyway, if you know what I mean, right? I mean, I mean, it's,
fastballs and haymakers both coming in at 98.
Teammates of mine would tell me, listen, you didn't even look at Nolan the wrong way, or you might got you buzzed the tower happen.
Yeah. And Brian Anderson with a base hit up the middle.
It's easy to beat the heat when you become an energy-saving expert. Go to FPL.com/beattheheat.
Nice job by Brian Anderson. I'll tell you, during batting practice today, he was working middle away almost exclusively throughout his rounds. Good stuff to see as he's really trying to get back and get that consistent rhythm going once again. It's a pretty good example right there. 2-2 pitch right back through the box.
Starlin Castro takes a pitch inside, 1-0. Castro is 0 for 2 tonight. Ground out the first. And fly ball in the fourth. He was 0 for last night to snap an 8-game hit streak, but did get on base to extend his on base streak to 9 games. Pitch for Lance Lynn, picked out of the dirt by Romine, 2-1.
Now Lynn, second and third time through, has really favored the two-seam fastball to run towards the inside corner. I think the Marlins right-handed hitters early in the ball game, a little more 95-96, four-seamer away. He stayed in exclusively on Castro.
Got a bunch of these. Dribbler to third. Another infield hit for Starlin Castro. That is 24 to lead the National League. Marlins have 2 on in the 6th.
Well, just as soon as you get the infield to move back a little bit, that's right. You just tap one to the left side. He did this on purpose, notice. He did so many of these. Yeah, the swinging bunt. It's right over top of the ball. Andujar had taken a few steps back with 2 strikes. As you mentioned, 24 infield hits on the season. Yeah, it sets up this situation once again. We've continued to talk about it over the last 48 hours. A number of opportunities the Marlins have given themselves with runners in scoring position. Now, 1 for 14.
They were very good in the series against the Nationals, 11 for 34. But as Holly just mentioned, 1 for 14 in the game and a half against the Yankees. They have needed that big hit in the last game and a half. They have not had it yet. They get it here. Dietrich, right side. Bird flips to Lynn, who beats Dietrich to the bag. Works as a sacrifice bunt to move Anderson to third and Castro to second with 1 out.
Every weekday morning, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp go head-to-head on today's hottest sports topics. Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, weekdays from 9:30 a.m. until noon Eastern, only on FS1. Well, Austin Dean has had the best at-bats tonight against Lynn. 2 rockets. 1 to center, 1 to right center. Both line drive base hits. Conley start to warm in the Marlins bullpen.
Well, Dean had one of the bases loaded at bats last night. See, maybe he can slow that heart rate down a little bit. Not bases loaded, but second and third, a big spot in the sixth. 0-1.
Well, interestingly enough, you see a little cut fastball. We haven't seen too many from Lynn here of late. The point being, I mentioned the at bat last night with bases loaded. Dean, passive aggressive early, took 2 fastballs in the zone and then went after a third. And then in a strikeout. Tonight, first pitch swinging.
In the dirt, gets away from Romine. But Anderson may not have gotten a good jump.
Now, the rule of thumb at third base is it's got to be 100% conviction. If there's any doubt, don't go. And you saw a little hesitation from Anderson. I think part of that is he could not gauge how far the ball had gotten away from Romine. From our perch up here, much easier to see that depth, that distance. Clearly he would have made it, but I don't think Anderson saw it the same way. Most importantly, has to only go if he's got 100% conviction.
Upstairs, 2-1. Now, can a third base coach help at all in that situation?
No.
Or is the angle too similar?
Well, it's too fast.
Yeah,
it's too fast. It's too fast to read. It's an instantaneous bang bang. I mean, you see this a lot in spring training. It's almost always practiced. Balls in the dirt, things that you can do at third base to help make yourself a better base runner. But ideally, it's got to be an instant read. You see it get away, and you're coming towards home, or you're not.
Dean's giving him the wave, but it's all about what the weight
well, and there's two
distribution
visuals that go on right there. You're absolutely right. You'd love to say, okay, I'm going to trust Dean 100%, but if Anderson's not watching Dean and he's watching the ball that's ricocheting off Romine, that's where your eyesight can get thrown off a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be my guess, is that Anderson was merely watching the ball the entire time.
Shoots this one foul into the seats. He's grabbing that front row.
Wow. That's pretty impressive. The guy in a pink shirt jumped in front of him.
Not distracted.
Not at all. That's always the danger. Fans in the stands, right? Everybody raises up. Watch the guy in the pink.
He's leaning over the railing,
right.
too. Excellent. Oh, look at that. Of course I caught it. Are you nuts?
Well, he caught it, but that guy right there in pink that was standing thought he was supposed to catch it. I couldn't believe he went for it.
Left side, Torres gets to it, bounces, throws to second. Castro's back safely, and in to score is Anderson. And Dean drives in the Marlins' first run. And Torres a little slow to get up on the outfield grass.
That is actually the right read from Starlin Castro. Watch. All right, so Starlin's going to read this ball in the hole. It gets through. He's on his horse. He's got to start to go, but he's the out at third base if he runs into it. That's actually very good base running by Starlin Castro. The only shot that Torres has got is to go back to second base, and of course Starlin gets back in safely. Starlin goes here. He's dead. He's dead at third base. It's the right read. You've got to see that ball through the infield and into the outfield before you can go 100%.
So now it is Miguel Rojas. Tying run in scoring position. Maybe takes inside. Yankees scored a run in the top of the sixth. Marlins get it right back. And looking for more with 2 on and 1 out. Rojas had 2 on and 1 out back in the 4th inning. Popped up. Another crack at it here. Swings through 94. Tommy Kahnle up for the Yankees. How deep is their pen? He got the save last night. Warming up in the 6th tonight. Although that pen a little less deep tonight with Aroldis Chapman placed on the disabled list.
Feels a little bit bullpen by committee right now for the Yankees.
Left knee tendonitis for Chapman. Threw a few pitches last night. Waved the training staff out and placed on the DL earlier this afternoon.
The Yankees recalled Chance Adams to take his spot.
Castro at second, Dean on at first. Marlins have out-hit the Yankees 7-3, but trail it 2-1. Pitch number 103 for Lance Lynn. Got as high as 118 pitches this year.
Well, it's been amazing tonight for Lynn. Wondered if he was going to do this here at Marlins Park. 91 fastballs. 103 that he's thrown.
And Rojas drills one left field. Back is Gardner. Gone! A 3-run home run for Miguel Rojas. Number 10 for Miggy, and the Marlins are in front.
Welcome back, Miggy Rojas. Welcome back to the lineup. Welcome back to the moment. I had a conversation with the batting cage today. We were talking about pressure situations, Paul. The guy that you wanted to see up there. Key moments. Packed house. What Marlin would be your guy? And we both agreed Miguel Rojas would have been our guy. Been battling some injuries. Gets the start tonight at short. And comes up with the biggest hit for the Marlins in this series.
They needed it, and he delivered.
Right man, right spot. He's done it many times this season. Two-seam fastball, running action, arm side, back into the swing of Miguel Rojas.
A 4-run 6th inning has given the Marlins a 4-2 lead over the Yankees.
Pulls the hands in, gets good extension.
Sierra fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 372 on the home run distance for Rojas. Continues to add to his career high home run total this year. He had 4 to his name prior to 2018. That was number 10. And a big one.
A game in which Lance Lynn was in complete control has gotten away here in the 6th. Four hits, including Rojas' 10th home run.
Slap to third, and Duhar up with it. Sidearm throw, but not enough on it. They get the speedy Sierra. Another infield single for the Marlins in this sixth. They've had 3 infield singles this inning.
Well, long term, Sierra's the man I'm going to be betting on for infield singles. I think if you give him a full season of at-bats, he's definitely going to catch Starlin.
You're right.
Even when he's peaking, Sierra lightning fast down that first base line. Tell you what, Andujar did a pretty decent job getting it across.
That's going to do it for Lance Lynn. Florida Lottery calling the bullpen at Marlins Park. One big swing of the bat by Miguel Rojas has given the Marlins a 2-run cushion as Tommy Kahnle, who saved the game last night for the Yankees in the 12th inning, out to pitch and try to finish off the 6th tonight.
Kahnle did a fantastic job stepping into a big moment as Chapman had to walk off the mound. Most of us surprised when you look at the track record of Kahnle this season. It's been a tough road. ERA up over 6. Small sample size. He's been up and down in the minors and the big leagues. Yankees bullpen last night, my goodness, 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 9 Ks. It's the most. It's a game in Boston late June. 7 relievers.
This is Yadiel Rivera to hit in the pitcher spot. Sierra off of first. Rivera offers at the first pitch, sends it out to right center field. Stanton is back, reaches over his head. He can't make the catch. Sierra on his way to third, goes through the stop sign, and he'll score.
Well,
when he gets ahead of steam, it's hard to stop. Freddie Gonzalez said, "Don't go." Sierra said, "I'll score."
Well, Freddie, get out of the way. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, Yadi, great swing. Let me tell you something. Great swing, drives it off that right field wall. Watch Sierra. Okay, this is the read because Stanton maybe has a play on it. I thought Sierra was trying to make up for lost time, and in fact was running with his head down. Freddie said, "No." He says, "Yes, sirree." Freddie doesn't care. Get him in there. That's all that matters. Score that run. You see, that's not a misread by Freddie. The idea, what he wants Sierra to do is come around third base as hard as he can, and then he wanted to stop him, but Sierra didn't see the stop. He saw the go.
Marlins with 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now Rafael Ortega. Boy, how about Yadiel Rivera? His playing time has been a little less the last few weeks. Been mostly pinch hit duties, which is what, an at bat a day or two every other day. Comes up huge to add another run here in this 6th inning.
No waiting around. Jumped with the first good fastball he saw. It was up. Approach. Nearly 400 feet to right center field.
Now the 1-2 to Ortega. Cuts and misses for the 2nd out in this inning.
For Canely, that's the changeup. 87, 88 miles an hour. That's what he's trying to get to. Well, if there were any nerves last night that maybe factored into some of the tougher at-bats we saw late in the game for the Marlins, that is absolutely not the case tonight. I'll tell you, Miguel Rojas, I think, took the pressure that might have been in that dugout just a little bit and just let it all out.
JT Realmuto takes a called strike. The line is complete for Lance Lynn. 5 1/3, 8 hits, 5 runs. All of them earned a walk, 6 strikeouts. He came in with a .660 ERA in 15 innings pitched here at Marlins Park. Those numbers didn't get any better with the 5 Ernies tonight. Upstairs, 2-1. JT a strikeout, reached on a fielder's choice and grounded into a double play tonight. A little out in front of that one. 2-2. Speed of Sierra not only to beat out the infield single, but to score from first on the double. Extend this to a 3-run Marlins lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Six hits so far in this inning for the Marlins. Those hits have come in all shapes and sizes. Brian Anderson's hit was just a line drive up the middle. Castro, Dean, and Sierra infield singles. The Rojas home run. And the Rivera double. The man who started it all this inning is on deck. The payoff pitch from Canely. Grounded foul. Cut on and missed. 94 miles an hour upstairs. Realmuto strikes out, but the damage done. 5 runs in the inning, 3 on 1 swing. Miguel Rojas and his 10th home run. 5-2.
A chance to go back and see his family in Venezuela for the last few years. He told me before the ball game tonight something special may happen. I said, why? He said, because my family is in town. His grandfather is right over here. That's Rafael. He said, without him, I probably never would be playing baseball. He was the first to ever take me to a baseball field and work with me to help me get to where I am. His sister, Noella, is here, too, to my right. His mother is here. In 2016, Miguel Rojas hit 1 home run all year. Guess who was there? His mother. She's only seen him play a few times in the major leagues, and she is here. Her name is Norma, and we're going to talk with John Erica Alvarez also to help us out and communicate with us. First of all, just seeing him hit that home run, Norma, can you speak to the emotion of seeing your son hit a big home run against the New York Yankees?
Si puede hablar sobre tu emoción de saber a Miguel dar ese home run.
Ay, no, eso fue indescriptible, de verdad. En el momento, no sé, como que lo presentíamos que lo iba a meter porque hay una conexión muy grande. Y en ese momento me puse a pedir en mi yapamala hindú y estaba rezando el rosario hindú. Y bueno, nos los dio.
It's just it's an indescribable moment. It was just one of those moments where you kind of felt it, like we have a connection, and I just felt like it was the moment that he was going to do it, and I just clung onto my rosary and said a prayer for him.
He told me before the game, he hit his only home run in 2016 in the major leagues, and you were at the game. Do you remember that? You are his good luck charm.
¿Tú recuerdas el home run que él hizo en 2016? Y se voy a hablar sobre eso.
Ah, bueno, igualito. Eso fue la primera vez que veníamos a verlo a él acá. Y fue grandioso. Cuando nos dedicó ese jonrón a nosotros, bueno, pues Miguel es un muchacho de mucho reto. De mucho reto.
No, that was actually the first time we ever came to see him play live, and it was one of those wonderful moments that to be able to see it happen.
Él cuando sabe que tiene un compromiso, lo hace de corazón. El hecho que nosotros estemos aquí, su primer juego, nosotros aquí, es para él algo muy grande. Fíjate que él me regaló, cuando yo entré ayer al equipo, la muchacha de la puerta me dio el libro que tiene la foto de él. Y me hizo una dedicatoria muy bella.
When Miguel makes a commitment, it's just something that he holds strong to him. And having us here that time, that game in 2016 was just a special moment that he wanted to make even more special for us since we were here. And when I came to the ballpark yesterday, I got the program entering the building, and it was had Miguel on the cover, and he wrote a nice little story to me. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Miguel got in as a pinch hitter in the game last night, but he was excited today to be in the starting lineup because the people most important to him, along, of course, with his wife and his son, are here. And he said he's going to have them on a road trip, he hopes, as well. A little longer family time. You're a good luck charm. Great to see you. Can we see your jersey? Because she's so excited. Number 19, Rojas. The family is in the house. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, back to you. Can you see his face right here, guys?
Absolutely. Craig, John Eric, thanks so much. Well, I'll tell you what, he keeps this up, she'll be on every road trip for the rest of his Marlins career, for goodness sakes. But yeah, huge home run for Miguel Rojas. His family here to see it.
It's a big moment for him, for his family. He's worked so hard on his offense all the way back to spring training. We know how much time and effort, early mornings, early morning workouts, trying to get that swing just right. You watch the Marlins every day. You watch him breathe in and out before the big at-bats. I don't think there's a Marlins fan that isn't surprised at 10 home runs from Rojas. There's Conley's numbers on the season: 4.03 ERA. He's pitched much better here at Marlins Park. 1.93 ERA at home. Lefties 1.97. Righties 1.94.
Swung on and missed. Bat goes flying, thankfully, into the netting in front of the Marlins dugout. Romine retired for the second out here in the 7th.
Join us on Saturday to celebrate Star Trek Night. Dressed as your favorite character and purchase a ticket package that includes a ticket to the game and a collector's edition Marlins Starfleet hat. Visit marlins.com/Star Trek today.
Who's your favorite character on Star Trek? I think I know this one. Data.
Spock.
No, you're a numbers guy. It's got to be Data, right?
Spock.
All right, Spock.
It's the only name I've got for you.
I'll buy Spock.
Well, line drive base hit in the left.
Luke Voigt off the Yankee bench. A 2-out pinch hit single here in the 7th.
His first pinch hit with the Yankees. Emphasis on hit. Yeah, when I was a kid growing up, Spock had the handshake where you split your fingers apart down the middle, I believe it was,
right,
and you would like interlock like that. So yeah, everybody knows that.
Well, that's our favorite. That's ours. That's ours now too, right?
Well, it can be if you want.
Yeah, oh, is it the John Gant Vulcan changeup?
The Vulcan changeup. It's the Vulcan handshake, right? So there you go. I'm sure that will be out in full force on Star Trek Night.
Ron Guerrero.
Well, no secrets there. That's Guerrero getting ready to throw 100. Secrets there.
Secrets?
I love secrets. I love mountain meetings. I always do. Everybody's hiding their mouths so their lips aren't being read.
I don't recall the product, but there is a commercial now that is basically a coach, a baseball coach, who is just yelling everything out.
Yes,
like
the opposite of what we just saw.
We're going to throw a fastball here. Come on.
I've seen it. Squeeze coming, I believe, is what it is. Right. Hitters in the box. You want me to drop down a squeeze right here?
Voigt away from first is Brett Gardner. The lefty faces the lefty Conley. Five and a third from Trevor Richards, gave up 2 runs. Arlen Garcia came in, gave up a sac fly, and then got a fly out. So he worked 2/3 of an inning. Conley, 1 on and 2 out. Outside at 94 miles an hour. no career steals for Voit.
Certainly are trying to get Giancarlo Stanton to the plate here in the 7th. See Conley work his way back. Really trying to find that outside corner with the fastball. He's missed 3 times.
On 4 pitches, Gardner walks. And Stanton due up. He is refusing to walk to the plate because he is awaiting switch from his former manager. While he waits, and out to the mound he goes. It will be Guerrero against Stanton in a 3-run game here in the 7th. Yankees in town for a couple of games. 12-inning affair last night that went the Yankees' way. But tonight, it is the Marlins in front. Speaking of last night, 7th inning, we have seen this matchup before. Teheran Guerrero against Giancarlo Stanton. And the Heat won. Teheran Guerrero striking out Stanton. Is he up to the task again? As Stanton walks to the plate as the tying run. He has 299 home runs. He has hit 112 of those home runs here at Marlins Park. Guerrero's job, let him do it in Baltimore.
Well, Guerrero's hit 100 miles per hour 158 times this year, and 14 of his 18 pitches last night. I think you're going to see a few of them right here.
'51st game this year for Guerrero. He's had a little extra juice the last few times out.
You know, like so many of the Marlins. Outstanding.
To the backstop. Voit to third. Gardner to second.
Standing out of the bullpen here at Marlins Park. 2.52 ERA at home. conversation slash decision for the Marlins. Now you've got first base open. Do you put the go-ahead run in the box? In the form of Aaron Hicks, as opposed to Stanton in the box with a 2-0 count. We'll see what Guerrero chooses to do. You imagine whatever it is, he's going to pitch carefully.
High chopper, left side. No play. 5-3.
Well, an infield single and an RBI for Stanton. 2-0 fastball away. A little bit late. See it jump right off of home plate. High chopper puts Rojas in a do-or-die situation, trying to barehanded throw all in one motion.
Well, 2 outs and still a 2-run lead. Gardner at third, Stanton at first, and Aaron Hicks in the box. And strike at 101.
Well, these are the moments we were referring to in last night's ball game, seeing them once again tonight. Obviously, a large contingent of Yankees fans here at Marlins Park, rising to their feet with each pitch that Guerrero throws.
Two matchups between these two, Guerrero and Hicks. A walk and a strikeout. Earlier we talked about Gardner dancing off of second when it was Richards on the mound. Now he's dancing off of third with Guerrero on the hill, closer to his line of sight. Two one.
Guerrero as well, really trying to nibble at that outside corner. See the 100 miles an hour. You also see the arm side run.
Gardner at third, and Stanton will be on the move from first. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here it comes. Called strike 3. At the bottom of the zone, 1-0-1 from Guerrero. Big strikeout to strand a pair. Yanks get 1 back, but it's 5-3 Marlins. further trouble in the 7th. The Yanks do get one back, however, but the Marlins lead this one 5-3 as we go to the last of the 7th inning. That's Chance Adams. He's been up with the Yankees for a brief moment this year, but the corresponding move with Aroldis Chapman placed on the disabled list prior to tonight's ball game.
Now you see his numbers at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre, 4.98 ERA, 106 innings, over 100 strikeouts.
They'll face Anderson, Castro, and Dietrich. Anderson fouls that one away. I showed you Adams' numbers in the minor leagues. Has made one start for the Yankees this year. At Fenway Park earlier this month. Straight back, 1-2.
For Adams, fastball, curve, slider, change. The curveball more than the slider.
Anderson doesn't chase, and it's a leadoff walk in the 7th. T-Mobile, built for baseball. Afternoon action in Oakland. Joey Gallo. When he connects, they go a long way. This one a home run. The Rangers doing anything they can to try to cool off the Oakland A's. Oakland A's have had one 42 of 56. Prior to the game this afternoon, the Texas Rangers won 4-2.
Tied for first with the best record since June 16th. That's the stretch you were talking about. June 15th, they were 11.5 games back, buried in the division, 4th place. They're tied for first.
It'll be a Wild West these last 5.5 weeks. Houston beat Seattle today 10-7. National League East, the Atlanta Braves a 2-1 win over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Phillies currently up 7-5 in DC in the middle of the 7th inning. Of course, the Yankees are chasing Boston Red Sox, who lead the Indians 9-4 in the top of the 8th. Red Sox had a 5-run 4th inning. Marlins had a 5-run 6th inning. Going to add to this 2-run lead in the 7th. Big hack from Castro, 1-2. Last of 2 here tonight, and the Braves are in town, a 4-game weekend series. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Marlins have an off day Monday, and then 2 games at Fenway Park against the Boston Red Sox on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Mentioned that 4-game series with the Braves in town. Saturday's game exclusively on FS1. Crowd out here at Marlins Park. Last couple of nights, fun ball games. 2-1 in 12 last night. Marlins dropped that decision, but they lead this one by a couple in the bottom of the 7th. Runner goes. Throw to second is into center field, and Anderson turns and heads to third, and he will make it there safely.
Tell you what, the Yanks got a little lackadaisical right there. My goodness. Brian Anderson off with the pitch. It's a 2-run ball game. Romine pops up, and it's not a great throw, but Neil Walker not backing up. Hicks did not charge when the throw went into center field. That allows Anderson, who didn't have a an instantaneous reaction, an opportunity to get over to third base.
Well, Walker didn't even budge.
Well, yeah.
And then he threw his arms up. So would they have had some sort of a play on? That there was a missign defensively or something? I mean, that was utter confusion.
Yeah,
right
there's
there.
some miscommunication. I mean, it's just, the effort with everything that was going on in the middle of the field from the Yankees just doesn't add up. This is a 5-3 ball game. Not that you have this conversation anytime during a big league ball game,
right.
But my goodness, it's surprising to see. Nice job by Anderson. Picks up the stolen base. Check that. That's right. He doesn't pick up the stolen base because Starlin had walked. Merely drew the throw.
It's a good thing he did. Now he's on third for Derek Dietrich. He breaks his bat on the foul ball.
Romine charged with an error on the throw. Second Yankees error tonight.
And 67 errors this year. Dietrich, roller to second. Walker with the flip. Dietrich beats it out, and Anderson will score. 6-3 Marlins here in the 7th.
We had some good conversation. Did you see Rojas there passing on knowledge, or excuse me, Anderson passing knowledge to Rojas about his at-bat against Adams. We talked about taking full advantage of opportunities. It's run creation right there. Anderson on the move, throwing to center field, gets over to third base. Dietrich puts the ball in play and gets Anderson across.
How about the night for Dean? Early in your career or early in a season, you get a 3-hit night, boost your batting average quite a bit. He's up to 292 now.
Right along with the batting average going up, I'd be willing to bet the confidence is through the roof as well. You're really starting to see it with Dean. That smile's getting bigger and bigger. He's expecting results in the box.
Into the second deck, 0-1. Singles in the 2nd, 4th, and 6th. And in that 6th inning, it was the 5-run 6th inning, an RBI single and a run scored. He homered last night against Masahiro Tanaka, scoring the only Marlins run last night. Tonight a different story. 6 runs, 10 hits.
Marlins created a run this inning without a hit.
Too short. Torres bobbled it and safe at second base. Another misplay by the Yankees. Another base runner for the Marlins.
That's going to be an error on Torres. Ball stays down, but as he's recovering, realize that Dietrich's going 100 miles an hour. Beats him to the bag. Tell you what, see Derek call it out. He is always going hard on the bases. Look at the intensity. That's 100%. If that ball was hit, his intentions to break up the double play. Well, guess what? He beats him to the bag. Base running by Dietrich. Third error of the night on the Yankees.
Stop me if you've heard this before. 2 on and 1 out for Miguel Rojas. It's the third time tonight. He popped up in this situation back in the 4th inning, but delivered a 3-run home run in the 6th. Ball hasn't left the infield yet. 2 walks, a fielder's choice, and an E6. And a run in.
Rojas turned around a 93-mile-an-hour seam fastball from Lance Lynn. Inside corner.
Up the middle. That's Walker with the flip to Torres. And the Yankees turn 2. But Miami adds another and leads this one 6-3. A great vibe in the ballpark these last couple of nights as these two teams wrap up their season series at 2 in the Bronx, of which they split in April. Marlins trying to get the split here in August. Miguel Andujar to lead things off. Teheran Guerrero's first pitch. Fouled down the right side, 0-1. It's Andujar, Neil Walker, Gleyber Torres. Guerrero came in the 7th inning. Gave up an RBI for Stanton and then struck out Aaron Hicks to end the inning.
Well, that is the first off-speed pitch that we've seen from Guerrero. The 11 pitches have been 100 miles an hour or more.
Chop to Castro. 1 away. Well, I know we've talked an awful lot about kind of the emotion, right, of these 2 games, and ballpark having a little different buzz perhaps these couple of nights, but also the learning moments, both emotionally and physically, for a guy like Guerrero. Not only is he pitching in back-to-back games, but also in back-to-back games, but on the second game, finish an inning, sit down, get back up, and go at it again.
Yeah, leverage. That's you talking about, where the adrenaline kind of runs out of you for a few minutes while you relax in the dugout, and then you got to crank it back up again when you head back out on the mound. You're absolutely right. It's a good point. I'm sure he was feeling it as he was walking off the mound, having just finished striking out Hicks in a pivotal moment in this ball game.
Side to Neil Walker.
In all honesty, most teams love velocity, and when you've got it, you like to use it in this spot, because, as I would say, any hitter will tell you, shoot, any pitcher will tell you, you know, when you've got 98 to 104 as default, that's where you go to. When everything gets a little crazy, when the slider's not working or you can't throw your changeup effectively, you lean on 98 to 104.
Right.
That is an advantage that Guerrero will have for as long as he can continue to do this. It's a huge advantage.
Grounded foul. Just wide of the bag.
Throw 92 down the middle of the plate to just about any big leaguer, he's going to get a hit. Throw 99 to 103. It's probably more like 30–40%. I'm talking 5-5, right down the middle, thigh high.
Two and two to Walker. Tipped at the plate.
That's a pretty good example of what I was referring to right there. As close to the middle of the plate, thigh high as you're going to get. 98. Walker just got a piece.
Out to left. This is Dean for the second out. So back-to-back nights where Guerrero has been in the middle of it all. He talked about the atmosphere before the game.
I was so excited last night too, because it was a lot of crowd and support us, and maybe a couple of us for the Yankees too. But like the presence of the game and all those people out there watching you, like that's exciting for us.
Being able to harness that emotion, buckle down and get big outs. That's what Guerrero's done and will continue to try to do here against Gleyber Torres. In the air, right field, Ortega in foul territory, has room in a 1-2-3 8th inning for Teheran Guerrero. 6-3 Marlins.
know what time it is. Yeah, that's right. Bonefish time. Fresh catch of the day. Go to Seattle. Mitch Haniger. Go get you some. My goodness, full extension. Play across the grass. Great grab. There's another team that's playing great baseball in the American League West right now. Seattle Mariners. Lay claim to the division.
Speaking of catches in Seattle and fish and all that stuff,
wow.
Have you done that before? What is that? Pike's Place, right?
That's correct.
You've done that?
I lived there.
But you've caught a fish?
Yeah.
You have to make a phone call, or you just have to ask? You have to like know somebody, or you just
run
go
by
there?
and catch one.
Hey, give me a flounder.
They'll throw it to you.
Flip me a flounder.
That's exactly right. You know, you don't have to know anybody.
Okay, just check.
Open.
There wouldn't be flounder up there.
Yeah, no.
More of a salmon.
I knew where you were going. I had you back on that one. Try to keep the flounder jokes though for East Coast.
It's no fluke.
That's right.
Out to center field for Sierra. That one's going to fall in for a base hit.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app. Marlins Baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Marlins home screen icons and features such as MLB.TV, Game of the Day, live radio broadcasts, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
It's JT Riddle off the bench. Rojas getting the start at shortstop. Here is Riddle, who has been rather hot the last 4 days. Keeping it up here with a line drive to right field. A two-run homer for JT Riddle. Stay hot.
Oh boy, oh boy. How about that pull power? JT Riddle getting it done once again. Paul, I had a fun conversation with JT. He was kind of breaking down what he was doing differently over the last week or so with the swing, shortening the swing, talking bottom hand, pulling through. This is a great example of exactly what he's working on. Short, compact stroke, cutting the ball off before it gets to its point. Man. Welcome to Marlins Park tonight. One pitch, two-run home run. There you go.
That's it. Like a lefty specialist. Will
right.
even have to shower after this game. Ortega grounds out to the right side for the first out here in the 8th inning.
Well, see the home run distance of 380 feet. It's a point of where JT Riddle is with his swing, right? So all season long, listen, JT's been in and out. There's been a little bit of a, we've had a mix going in short for the most part. Of course, JT a lot of the playing time. Rojas has been hurt, but my point is this: he's accumulated some pinch hit at bats. In fact, came into tonight 0 for 11 pinch hitting this year. Well, his first pinch hit, first career pinch hit. Home run.
Think that'll work.
Yeah, I mean, I just like he's locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just it. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, see ball, zone, pitch, ball, homer.
9 for 18, 3 homers, 9 RBIs in his last 5 games. Not bad for a guy that was 1 for 16 in his previous 8.
I'll tell you right now, I might be in scoring position up here. JT. Knocking everybody in.
We don't say it often, but the other JT fouls that one back. 2-1. Steckenrider to be getting ready for the 9th inning, protecting what will be at least a 5-run cushion, so not a save situation for Steck. And Real Muto draws the walk. Third walk issued by Chance Adams. WB Mason, Marlins Live post-game show. Craig Minervini, Tommy Hutton, Jeff Nelson. Hello. That's Jeff Nelson's daughter out there, taking it in. Certainly helping Nelly with his shirt-tie combination today, I would imagine. I only say that because he matches, so that's nice. Back to the screen.
She seemed to be happy to be on TV, but Nelly didn't.
Well, he's still working on the tie knot. I don't think he's in his zone yet. Remember, he's a reliever.
But Nelly's supposed to be on TV.
But not yet.
Not yet.
Not
it's
yet.
a timing thing.
That's right. Right. This is the routine first. He's, this is, he's what is it? An 8th inning guy, right?
Okay.
He's like, right. So like Tommy Hutton's ready to roll. Gotcha. He's like a pinch hitter. He could be called upon at any moment in time. He's got the tie clasp and everything going on. Yeah. Nelly, he's got to roll.
I guess you're right.
He knows
he's got to get loose.
What hitter he'll face at what point in time.
So, and is Craig the bullpen coach?
No, Craig's a mess. Craig is just, he's out of the conversation.
Craig is not the bullpen coach.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, there's Craig.
He can hear me. The shirt and tie, it's undone, Craigers. Come on now. You got the top button unbuttoned.
Sorry, I had a problem with my earpiece. I didn't think I heard. I was getting some Spanish or some other language. There's a lot of planes in the area, Paul. Goes off the earpiece.
Frequencies, yeah. It's a disaster, I know.
Wireless technology.
Hey, Craig, you get another walk and talk in you tonight?
Tell you, I don't know, but that's that Rojas story, guys, right? Mom's here. I mean,
awesome.
Excellent.
He's only seen
awesome.
her a few times. He hasn't been there. It really is amazing. And even the sense that he's such a family guy before the game, telling us something special could happen.
Yeah,
and look what happened.
They made some magic.
Finish it off, but it's been a nice night no matter what. And he's been battling that ankle, too. He's not running as well, but he said, hey, I got 5 weeks left. I got to play hard here, finish it out. I don't have time to take off 2 weeks to get my ankle better.
That was a fantastic piece, Craig, no doubt about it. Glad you were able to sit down with the Rojas family and Rojas' story. I mean, he's been so valuable to this ball club. Biggest hit tonight. There's his grandfather and sister. There's no denying that is the Rojas family.
Striking resemblance.
Correct.
Family just as happy as his teammates tonight. A 3-run home run back in that 5-run 6th inning. Marlins then scored 1 in the 7th. And 2 so far here in the 8th on the JT Riddle 2-run home run. Castro line drive center field. That'll get down. Waved around from third. Real Muto safe. Well, JT almost collided with Romine and then almost got the home plate umpire Bill Miller. But the 9th run scores. Marlins up by 6.
Now let's give you another look. Play at home. JT just makes it in. That left foot coming down to the front edge of home plate. Sure enough, he definitely beats it and gets out of the way. Probably shouldn't be surprised, as good an athlete as JT is, that he tap dances his way through this.
Right.
But if you're wondering if Dietrich was in position to tell him what to do, he was. There you see him right there. That's what Dietrich did. He drops the bat, got himself into position. But JT, again, first things first, he's got to read what's going on in front of him, and he did just that.
Well, Romine was kind of like in front of home plate and then drifted back too, so it's maybe a little indecision as to where and when to slide for Real Muto.
Well, the rule of thumb is really just about anywhere is that your thoughts are your thoughts, and you follow them until you need help. And if it's, you know, on the bases, a base coach, whatever the case may be, Dietrich's in position to show him, but JT's got to read that for himself first. He's not looking for Dietrich to tell him exactly what to do and then follow those instructions. Definitely the right read. He makes it across safely.
So 3 runs here in the 8th. A roller foul by Dietrich.
Certainly lots of offense tonight for the Marlins. I think he scored a run in the 7th without getting a hit. Certainly worth mentioning tonight. It's been nearly a month since they scored a run in an inning without getting a hit.
Dietrich, right field. Stanton toward the corner will make the catch. Tagging and heading to third is Anderson. So no more Steckenrider. Javi Guerra is up in the Marlins pen as the Marlins have now stretched this to a 6-run lead. Speaking of bullpens, Aaron Boone will go to his. That'll do it for Chance Adams. Florida Lottery call to the bullpen here at Marlins Park. A.J. Cole in for the Yankees. Tomorrow, Braves in town for 4 over the weekend. Atlanta will counter with Sean Newcomb, who has had some very good numbers this year against the Marlins. Seen him a number of times, but Hernandez back into the rotation. 27th game overall for Hernandez tomorrow night. First of a 4-game series. The first place Bravos here at Marlins Park.
Good opportunity for the Marlins. The offense rolling tonight. Newcomb has, for the most part, had the Marlins number this year, but he's coming off 2 rough starts. Knocked around his last 2 times out.
Here is A.J. Cole. Saw him last night. 9-3. Marlins in front. Austin Dean has 3 hits in this ball game. Takes ball 1 here with 2 outs in the 8th.
Well, Cole came into last night's ball game, and I think he's still got the streak going of about 30 consecutive sliders. That slider bailed him out of all sorts of trouble. In fact, picked up the win last night. The first pitch to Dean, slider.
Gonna make a tally, aren't you?
Yep, I've got somebody on that.
Well, you are indirectly going to make a tally. That's
It's worth tracking. It's bothering you, isn't it?
no, not at all.
Yeah, it is.
No.
How many?
See, I'm not in box. I don't have to hit a big league slider, so I don't care.
But you're curious how many consecutive
Oh,
sliders
yeah.
he's
Oh,
thrown
that, yes.
going back to last night.
Curious, yes.
Well, the hitter's hitting 150 against it. That's why he throws it so much.
Lance McCullers in the World Series, right? He threw
A higher percentage of breaking balls, curveballs than than even his fastball, and he throws, 95 to 97.
Right.
That's how you get a hitter off your fastball. Throw a good curveball.
1-2 pitch to Dean. Out to left field. Gardner will make the play. But 3 more runs in the inning for the Marlins. The big swing, the red-hot J.T. Riddle. Another home run and 2-run shot. 9-3 to the ninth.
Look at
Join the Lincoln Summer Invitation Sales Event and buy your South Florida Honda dealers. 9 runs, 14 hits, couple of big home runs for the Marlins tonight. Couldn't quite get the big hit last night, falling in 12 innings to the Yankees, but they have answered back in a big way, much like they did in the Bronx, losing the first one and winning the second one, 3 outs away from a split here in Miami.
J.T. Riddle in it short. There you go, Mickey Rowe. Loss over at first base. Mr. Galloway has made his way into the ballgame. Isaac in right. Javi Guerra on the mound.
First game for Guerra. Let's have a save. 6-run lead here in the 9th. Not a safe situation, of course, but speaks to the different roles that he's been working this year out of the pen for Don Mattingly. 2-2 to Greg Bird.
With the win tonight, Marlins will split the season series with the Yankees 2-2.
Field line for Bird, but that one sneaked foul.
Certainly much has been made about the Yankees disabled list. Documented it throughout the two-game series here over the last couple of days. But they do have a very favorable schedule coming up. They're leaving Miami. They're heading to Baltimore. They're going to play the White Sox and the Tigers entering tonight against those 4 teams, Marlins included.
Chopper to second for the first out in the ninth.
Those 4 series, the teams a combined 132 games under 500. The Yankees, you'd think they would be able to keep their head afloat against Baltimore, the White Sox, and the Tigers.
And I'm venturing to guess they thought that they would have had a couple of wins here in Miami. And unless they can mount a 6-run rally with 1 out in the ninth, they're going to walk out of here with a split. And that, whether it's the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Dodgers last year, whatever it is, you get to this point in time and it seems like the games, they mean a little bit more, even though a win is a win in April, a win is a win in September. But you get to this point in time and everything seems to be magnified. Just out of the reach of Castro. Base hit for Romine. But where the Yankees are, I don't know if they're out of the division. I think a lot of people would probably think that they are. I may not disagree with them with the way the Red Sox have been playing, showing no signs of slowing down. So now the focus for Aaron Boone and the club, as Ronald Torreyes will hit here in the 9th inning, is either A, try to catch the Red Sox, or B, try to distance yourself enough to guarantee that home game in the wild card.
That's kind of what I'm getting at when I rattle off the upcoming schedule for the Yankees. I think that's certainly a storyline that I know Yankees fans are going to pay attention to. Wins that they should get, and I think even with the number of important pieces that they have on the disabled list currently, that they're in a position to rattle off some wins over the next week or so.
Base hit for Torreyes. Looped one over Castro's head.
His first pinch hit of the season, now 1 for 4.
Brett Gardner reached base his last 2 times up. Single in the 6th, a walk in the 7th. Three balls and no strikes to Gardner. Marlins bullpen this month, 7.5% walk rate, which is the 2nd lowest in the National League in August. Now, the 1 walk tonight, that was Conley. Now is not the time to lose the plate. Steckenrider back up in the Marlins pen. I say that because obviously it's 3-0 to Gardner, but then Stanton, Hicks, and Andujar due up next. So Yankees offense can make a 6-run lead feel like a lot less than that. After the meeting on the mound, a strike to Gardner, 3-1. On the ground, Rojas goes to Riddle, and back to Rojas, and a double play. They double up the speedy Gardner and finish off a 9-3 victory. It's a Marlins win. They get a split against the Yankees. Miguel Rojas with a 3-run home run, and at the center of the 3-6-3 double play that ends the night. It's a heck of a win for Miami.
Well, he started it. Why not? Biggest hit of the night right there from Rojas. He should finish it as well. Great play defensively at first. Starting the double play and finishing it. Nice ball game for the Marlins. 14 hits, 9 runs, no errors. The Yankees, they made 3 errors. 3 runs on 7 hits. Let's take another look at that last play. Two-hopper, quick backhand. Strong throw to Riddle. Fires it back. 2 shortstops turn into double play. Here you go. More quick look. JT so smooth.
Not easy to double up Brett Gardner.
25,547 saw this 6-run win by the Marlins.
Certainly take it. They get a split as they did in the Bronx. The Yankees won the opener back in April, and the Yankees won the opener last night, but the Yankees winning, or the Marlins winning the second game both times. Let's check in with Craig.
Paul, thank you very much. Miguel, you told us before the game your mom was here, family was here, grandfather who taught you the game was here. You said something special might happen.
I told you guys, I don't know what it is, but it's always something coming from upstairs that always make me give me the chance to make something special for them. I feel like they're not here with me that much, but when they come, I'm trying to make this time wonderful for them.
And it was wonderful. Tell me about the big home run. You guys have been sorely needing that key hit. You had all kinds of chances in this series. What about that?
Yeah, man, especially after last night. Pretty disappointing game for us as a club, you know. Like, we always trying our best to get runs in, and last night we couldn't do it. I feel like this part of the game.
We had a fill-in monkey tonight. A fill-in monkey. And you would have to be proud of the monkey. Did a pretty good job.
He did a great job. He did a great job. Like I was saying, it's part of the game. Sometimes you hit some rough stretches like that, and today for me to come up big in that situation, not just for me, for the whole club, means the world, man.
Well, it's a great home run for you. Were you thinking of your family as you were rounding the bases by chance, or are you zoned in on a baseball game?
Absolutely. As soon as I crossed third base, I was ready to punt them out. I know how happy my mom gets when I do something good, and it's always like that. And it's not just for them. My wife and my kid, at home, they couldn't come today, but I mean, it was special for me, man.
And your grandfather Rafael is here. What did he mean to you?
I mean, it means everything. Like I said before the game, when I was giving an interview, if it wasn't because of him taking me to the baseball field when I was 3 years old, I wouldn't be here. So him, my grandma, my mom, my wife, and my son, they're my big motivation to be here, and I'm so happy that I could do that in this night.
Did he ever tell you one day you're going to hit a big 3-run homer against the Yankees?
No, he was more worried about my defense always. Like he really liked my hands, and he actually a team trying to sign me as a pitcher, and he said, no, you gotta such a good hands. We're not gonna sign as a pitcher. You're just gonna be a shortstop because I know how hard you work and how good you play shortstop.
Well, nice going. I know you had the ankle too. You battled back from that. Good going, and nice to do it in front of your family. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you guys very much.
Right, Miguel Rojas, let's go back up to you guys. We'll have more in the post-game show, guys.
Craig, I really appreciate it. Terrific stuff with Miguel, with Miguel's family on a very special night here at Marlins Park, as the Marlins get the split of this 2-game series in front of over 50,000 the last 2 nights.
You'd love to see them grab the momentum from today and carry it into the Braves series. I mean, that's going to be the key. We're probably going to end up talking about it tomorrow. You hope that there isn't a letdown. Yankees clearly elevated a lot of attention here, a lot of bodies in this beautiful ballpark tonight, and the Marlins stepping up and getting it done. You want to see it happen again tomorrow night.
Great moment there with Miguel and his mom, his family down to see his sister after a big 3-run home run for Miguel Rojas. His 10th homer of the season just continues to add to a new career high. This was the big swing on a night in which there were many of them. 14 hits and a 9-3 Marlins win. Marlins Live is next.